The following program contains adult language and juvenile conversations. Listener discretion is advised.
As we usher in a brand new era, we had 5 episodes of technical errors. Sure, we could broadcast, we could stream, but there's a lot of bullshit going on behind the scenes. So on
The
behalf
following
of
program
those that came
contains
before,
adult language and juvenile conversations. Listener discretion is advised.
as we usher in a brand new era, we had 5 episodes of technical errors. Sure, we could broadcast, we could stream, but there's a lot of bullshit going on behind the scenes.
Keep
So
going,
on
Raven
behalf
Shadow.
of those that came
Contains
before,
adult language and
Jesus.
juvenile conversations.
so on behalf,
Listener discretion is advised.
what the fuck's going on?
What?
On behalf of those that came before, and on behalf of those that hopefully will come again, don't you worry, don't you fear. The worst is yet to come, as it's fucking obvious.
Keep going, Raven
Welcome to
Shadow.
Trick or Treat Radio.
That was
What's
awesome.
going on?
Play the stupid music.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 373 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience at Castle Wolfenstein and also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau. We discuss at least one film a week, we argue, we make fun of each other, and even though the big technical issues have been figured out, there's intro issues. Sorry about that, Raven
There's
Shadow.
almost room for one more.
We have another issue.
What?
This is a big one. Go get my whiskey.
Oh,
Shit.
no, it's the biggest one.
That's the biggest one. Go get my whiskey.
Go get his
In the
whiskey.
closet.
Someone go get it.
Yeah.
MZ, get his whiskey.
That one right there.
How many fucking closets?
It's-
Do you
well,
mean
I
that
don't
big? It's right there. The one with the fucking shirts.
Not that far away. It's either you get it or I go over this table and get it.
I'm getting it, all right?
And that was a really good intro, Johnny. That
I
got
know.
fucked up by technical errors.
I was impressed you weren't reading that or anything. You committed
Yeah.
that to memory.
See?
That was very impressive.
It's funny that you were talking about technical issues and then it fucked up your intro.
I know. Skype.
No, it wasn't Skype. I have so many windows open now that we're doing like the live stream and all this other stuff that like one of them had the sound on and then there's like a 10-second delay and that's why it kicked in after. So 'cause
Gotcha.
we're trying to run YouTube, we're trying to run Facebook, and yeah, fun.
So the people at home, you just stopped talking for 10 seconds
Really?
for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
So they didn't hear it. I should have kept going then. Nah, well, fuck it. What are you going to do? Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
No.
Take 2. Well,
I got my whiskey. All's right in the world.
all right, good. What are you going to do when you got to sing the blues and it don't come easy, you know?
You can't sing the blues. You want to know why you can't sing the blues?
Why?
Because you're fucking white.
Let me tell you my story, Aries. Listen, I was the crazy, insane,
Insane,
poor little
crazy.
eighth grade bitch. Here's the Kappa.
I got the Bamboleo blues. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
I got the blues so
Wow.
bad.
Ba-ba-na-ba-na.
I ain't got no whiskey blues.
Oh my God.
I got the technical difficulty blues.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I thought it was fixed.
Da-da-da-da.
John told me
Da-da-da.
it was good.
Da-da-da.
This is
But we're still
horrible.
fucked up.
This is horrifying.
Bamboleo. Carry Mahoney. Monsignor Lavelle Jones.
This is not quite like the songs we used to have back in the day.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
And yet another reason why white people can't sing the blues.
Yeah, no, they can't. No.
But they can't, but they shouldn't.
They should. Yeah, no. Attention, all white people. Stop singing the blues.
Yeah, yeah. Someone tell John Goodman and Jim Belushi to knock his shit off.
That's fair.
And Dan Aykroyd, for that matter.
Yeah.
So, on tonight's show, we are going to be talking about the film Depraved from director Larry Fessenden, old Uncle Larry. We haven't heard much from Larry after he basically appeared in almost every film over the last 2 years.
It's true.
He got burnt out.
Yeah, I guess he had to go make his own movie. So we will be talking about Depraved. I'm excited to talk about this one. And then we don't really have much else on the docket, but I'm sure we'll talk about some Frankenstein or some classic monsters or what have you. But if you guys want to get in on the conversation, if you're listening live or if you're not listening live and you're listening after the fact on the podcast and you really want to contribute to the conversation, feel free to send an email or voicemail to podcast@trickortreatradio.com. And if you send us a voicemail, we'll get it right on the air. And otherwise, we'll read your email. But we'd like to hear from you folks, and that is what's going on for tonight. Now, what else? This is our first consecutive weeks now without major technical issues. So it's nice. We can just kind of roll in a little late. MZ doesn't have to get grief for getting there at 7:40 or whatever it is, and we'll just kind of roll in and do the thing. So, how about you, Ravenshaw? You having less anxiety?
I have so much anxiety. It's fucking crazy. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited about what we're doing. Although Monster Zero was complaining about our length before we went live.
Whoa, the what?
I wasn't complaining. I was just making a point of it.
Fair.
No, you were complaining.
Yeah, you were
Fuck off, Aries. Just drink your whiskey and shut up.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, man. It's a rough car ride away.
Yeah. Do we have any hard traveling hero adventures from MZ and Aries?
No.
No. Uneventful trip. Just normal chit chat on the ride.
Yeah, no. And it doesn't feel forced or uncomfortable. We're very comfortable with each other, aren't we, Aries?
I'm sorry, was it supposed to be uncomfortable?
I don't think so. No, it's just that, out of all the combinations that we've had between us four, you and I are like the last combination.
The final frontier.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a one-on-one guy to begin with. Like I'm like, put me in a group and just let me sit back and observe everyone else having a conversation. Like,
oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
What? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Just what is your mind in the gutter, Johnny?
Yeah, Maryland's changing you, brother.
When I saw Raven Shadow laughing.
It's hanging out with all those people from Baltimore. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Edgar.
Yeah,
like
I touch him again.
Like Edgar Allan Poe, hanging out with his corpse.
Aries and I, we talk, we chat, we certainly laugh up a storm on our way up
Yes,
here.
yeah.
So things are all groovy, man.
I'm fucking fascinated, Johnny.
I am too. We should record that.
We need that. Yeah, we need a mic in that fucking truck.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just fascinated.
But
By
it's like taxi cab confessions.
That's what I want. Yeah.
It's two jackasses having conversations about movies and
work,
music,
work
whatever
a lot.
pops into my head.
Yeah.
Same thing that me and you would talk about.
Yeah, but I'm still fucking riveted about you two. Because we've done.
Oh, you two?
Yeah.
Like Octoon Baby?
Yeah. About the two of you.
We'll call it Zoo TV. It'll be all about us on the road driving up here.
Yes. Well, Aries is a big Edge fan. That's fair. But no, I know. And Aries and I, we've done some tag teams in the past.
Whoa. There we go.
Don't get rude. But yeah, no, we've had some time, two of us, and a lot of roads. But no, something about Monster Zero and Aries together. That's like, I don't know.
Actually, on the ride up to here tonight, we got so engrossed in the conversation, I missed a turn.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, Monster Zero was like, take that left.
Oh,
Don't tell me how to drive.
No. We actually had the discussion of because I went like 2 miles down the road before I was like, just so you know, I missed a turn and I'm trying to correct. And he's like, oh no, you're all set. I'm not worried. And then we had a little bonding moment about how our significant others would have just been all over us like the second we missed the turn. Where the hell are you going? You know. So.
Ask directions. Ask him. Ask him. He knows.
I would have taken that left. Yeah, well, you're not driving.
Wow.
Well, let me out.
This is amazing. So, MZ, I guess one thing I wanted to ask you about, you had a very eloquently put review of our boy Jimmy Gonzalez's latest release.
One's, I don't know if we're fading or you're fading, Johnny. We missed what you said.
Oh, well, I hear you guys fine now. But I was going to ask MZ. He had a nice, very eloquently put review of Jimmy Gonzalez's latest release, and I was wondering if he wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah,
You seem to be very good
I
in
said
putting
talk
your
about
thoughts to words.
Yeah, I said talk about it, not show it in front of the screen where no one.
I
where
wanted to
there's
show
dead air.
them this.
But
I showed it.
But
Last
well, the
week.
problem is you like turned away from the mic and was like, "Look," no one could hear that.
No. I watched it when did I watch it? I think I watched it
It was a couple
Saturday.
days ago. Yeah, that sounds right.
I think I watched it Saturday, and yeah, it was just a really cool time, man. I mean, it's no different from his Video Nasties release, and it also talks about here on the back his I guess it would have been his first one, Real Cinesound, which I've never seen, so I can't comment on it. But if it's anything like Video Nasties in this, then I imagine then that's a good time too. But what you have here, I mean, you got the nice yellow Giallo style cover, which is already, that catches your eye immediately, with some commissioned artwork on the front, which looks really nice. And it's really just a video mixtape of Giallo films from the 1970s, and you got you got your Argento, you got your Fulci, you got Sergio Martino in there, you got a bunch of others. Let's see, there's like 17 different movies or something like that, whatever the amount is, something like that. 17 different movies.
Sounds right. Yeah.
And there's for added measure, there's added trailers. And what he does is that they just take each Giallo, say like, for instance here, The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. Good movie too, by the way. Yeah. And what they do is that they just re-edit some of the more important scenes in that movie, and they add the accompanying soundtrack to it. And it runs about maybe 4 minutes a piece, 5 minutes a piece probably. And so it's a nice little. It takes itself on as some sort of a party tape, kind of like a trailer compilation, where it's a big party tape. This can run right alongside of that. A lot of good stuff. Let me see. I'm just going to read off what they have here. Oh, and there's also an introduction from. Let's see, the Giallo Room's Baron Martino. Okay, and that's some character, I guess. I don't know. I've never heard of him before. But let's see. There's you get the trailer with the bird with the crystal plumage, along with the bird with the crystal plumage. Cat of Nine Tails, Four Flies on Gray Velvet, Case of the Scorpion's Tail, another great movie. The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. Your Vice is a locked door, and only I have the key. Case of the Bloody Iris, trailer for Spasmo and Spasmo. My favorite non-Argento, Giallo is here also as well. What Have You Done to Solange? Let's see.
Solange.
Shut up. What Have They Done to Your Daughter? They got.
I hate that question.
Eyeball, along with the trailer. Torso, which is another fantastic movie. That's a Sergio Martino flick. That's a Sergio Martino joint. Awesome movie. The Strange Vice of Dr. Ward. All the Colors of the Dark, A Lizard in a Woman's Skin, Don't Torture a Duckling, The Psychic, and the trailer for The Psychic. And it's really great, and I highly recommend it. It's going to be available, I believe, on the 22nd through diabolicdvd.com, and I cannot recommend them highly enough. They are... as far as DVD distributors go, they are number 1 or number 2 right now. They are just fantastic. Now, right, and I would put them right alongside Vinegar Syndrome.
Wow.
Yeah, they just had a big release too, Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah. But Vinegar Syndrome, that you could get Vinegar Syndrome through Diabolic DVD. It's just the library. I would say that Diabolic DVD is better because it's all over the place as far as titles and distributors go. Meanwhile, Vinegar Syndrome is just a distributor, of their own material. But yeah, this is called Last Night a DJ Took My Life, mixed and edited by Jimmy Gonzalez, and I do recommend it.
I actually watched it on Saturday.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really? You did?
And it was kind of wild. Yeah, we had the, much like your studio, Johnny, in my room, I got a little light that has, that can change colors. So it was nice. We had some little vibe going on. And I've not seen a lot of these giallos. So it was like for the first time. And same thing with Mary. And so out of context, it was like a really mean hour and a half, you know what I mean? Like without knowing the context of it. I felt like it was like the Giallo recap going into like an end game, kind of like Ant-Man's friend that will do his like, spiel about stuff. And it was like, if I was getting ready for the ultimate, all the Giallos teaming up, this was to get me brought to where all the kind of got to, you know what I mean? But it was weird.
I was talking to Jimmy about this, and I'm hoping, as well as video nasties, I'm hoping because of the amount of content that's out there that he does a second volume.
Yeah.
Because there's an awful lot out there that hasn't been touched yet. Like Black Belly of the Tarantula, which is Seven Bloodstained Orchids. Such good stuff, Cat of Nine Tails is on this, yeah. Just a lot of really great Perversion Story. Good stuff out there that he can easily crank on another volume on this. But he told me what he's up to now, but I can't say what it is. So,
ooh,
yeah,
a little inside information.
Inside information. I know it all, and you don't.
Our boy Tiberius from Strange Highways podcast says the split screen throws me off. Which is the trick screen and which is the trick screen and which is the treat screen?
I know the answer.
Oh, we're the trick.
Yeah. No, that's up to the viewer's discretion.
Yes, it is subjective. And we have
kind of like the Twix.
Yes, we have some people hanging out in the chat room. Evil Corny says Raven Shadow needs to go to the crossroads and do a deal to get some soul for his soul.
Yes, let me get Ralph Macchio and we'll head down.
We'll get Steve Vai as well.
Yes. I'm very Caucasian.
Corny says, y'all started early. Well, we started a little late, actually, but we're getting better. Let's see. MZ, you'd be proud to... I'm sure he'd be proud to say that we started earlier than we've ever started before on a Thursday night.
Yes, I am. You're getting better, Johnny.
You could try harder, Johnny.
Wow, you want to push him under the bus a little more there?
Yeah.
No, this is just enough. I think he knows where he sits now.
Whoa!
Who's going to get cut out of all the video footage from Rock and Shock?
Things are getting a little weird in here.
Yeah, I guess you can't come.
So we also have Jethro says, love me some Giallo. I just wish Quentin Tarantino would make one. What do you think about that, Ozzy?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see him tackle a giallo, like a straightforward giallo. You know?
Is he a fan though? You think?
Oh boy, yeah.
Is he really?
Oh, you could. If you can't tell from his work in the movies that he's done, yeah.
But instead
Is that good?
but instead of black gloves, it'll be black socks for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Thurman's feet for 10 hours.
Look, I don't care about his fetish for feet. I don't care about that, you know?
That's a weird thing when dudes have feet fetish, right?
It's not weird. It's weird when you put it in your fucking movies.
That's fair.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, I don't understand what the problem is.
There's not a problem, but like of all the things to kind of be a thing,
Well,
feet
whatever.
really?
If that's his thing. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. You know what? It wasn't up until just recently that someone brought it up, and I'm like, you know, and by recently I would say maybe 3 months ago.
Okay.
That someone brought it up, and I'm watching. You know, at this time I was kind of in the middle of watching a lot of Tarantino because of his new film coming out and stuff like that. So I was like kind of warming myself up to it, and I'm saying to myself, okay, yeah, there is a few shots of feet involved in his films, but I don't think it's to the point where it needs to be made a case for, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see anybody's feet in goddamn Hateful Eight, you know?
too goddamn cold to take your shoes off. And
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking snow, man. Who's going to take their feet off in the, their shoes off in the snow?
that's true. Eddie Murphy has a feet thing too, huh? Didn't he? He got in trouble with some feet. back
Yeah,
in
I think
the
it was. I think it was a guy's feet though.
day. Yeah.
But you know what? He's coming. He's coming back as Dolomite. So, and I heard the early reviews are wild.
I can't fucking wait for that.
Oh boy.
Corny says, well, let's see. Jethro says, at night I will kill you with black socks will be the name of it. All right.
Ooh.
Evil Corny says, Raven Shadow and I need to start selling Cabretti pizza shears.
Oh, I can't fucking wait. I have a business model I'm working on, Corny. I'll send you over the weekend.
So you'll get it in 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. Electronically.
6 to 8 years. Because he actually has to come up with the business plan.
Yeah, no, we're going to sell shit. Give me a loan.
Give me a loan. Why don't you go on that show, Shark Tank?
Give me that mallet.
Yeah.
I want to see Raven Shadow on that show, Shark Tank, pitching this.
I'm going to sell shit. Give me money.
Hey, you like pizzas? You like shears? Come on.
You like
Come on.
you like Cabretti. What is his first name? John? Was it?
Marion.
Marion Cabretti. That's it. Oh, of course, Marion Cabretti. And,
Which is fucking weird, right? That movie scared the shit out of me when I saw that in theaters.
What movie?
Cobra.
Well, when they're doing the with the axes, yeah, that was a little freaky at first, I think, for me too.
Yeah, because I was really young too, and I remember it was at the era where I would see a movie if I passed the grade. My parents would take me to a movie last day of school, and I saw a bunch of flicks that way. I saw RoboCop that way. I saw and Cobra that way. And I remember during that scene when they that carjacking that was terrifying with what's his face? Who's the guy with the not Zadar, but he's the other guy.
Not Brian James. What was the guy's name? Something. Oh shit! I'll look it up. What's
What?
that?
It might have been his name. Might be Brian.
Brian James?
It's not Brian James, but it's. I always get their names confused. So let me look it up. It was the bad guy, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Car and has that fucking knife with the spikes on it.
Oh,
And it cuts him off.
Brian Thompson. That's it.
Brian Thompson.
Oh.
And I must have been probably like 9 or 10 years old when we saw it. And my parents, I'm like, I want to go home. They're like, no, you wanted to come see this. Ah.
I should watch that. I haven't seen Cobra in years. I got it at home. I should watch it.
We did it for the show.
So-
That was probably the last time we saw it.
Cobra?
Yeah, it was a GGTMC Flick Pick of the Month.
I don't even remember that.
Blasphemy.
I really don't remember.
That was old school, too. That was really old school.
Do you remember Raven Shadow?
That was, I was on the second segment in those days.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I think Andy Christ was on that episode, I think.
Yeah, because it was the whole just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Stallone made a cameo. Arnold made a cameo on that one.
Here, I'll find
Well,
out.
when you get Antichrist on, everyone makes a cameo.
Yeah, it was outrageous.
We did it on episode 31.
Wow.
We did. How about this for a double feature? We did Miller's Crossing and Cobra.
That's a good fucking double feature.
That was before we were doing, more modern stuff. Well, actually, we kind of mixed it up. I don't know why we did Miller's Crossing. Mars picked it because that's like his favorite movie. I don't know why we did that.
Now I remember Miller's Crossing, but I don't remember Cobra. I don't believe.
Maybe you
that.
didn't stick around for it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because that's
Really?
that's when you used to leave early.
Yeah. When I used to leave for like 11 or something
Yeah.
like that, I'd stick around for like
'Cause-
2 hours.
Because we did Battle Royal the week before. So it must have been like your favorite movie and Mara's favorite movie or something, because
Yeah.
those are like your favorite movies. And then we followed it up in episode 32 with Rec 3.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
I remember that.
So I was going to ask you something else, MZ. So yeah, that's a good review though of last night at DJ Took My Life, and Raven
Thank
Shadow echoed that. So if you guys want to check it out, diabolicdvd.com, you can pick up your copy. Jimmy told me the 20th, but you said the 22nd, so I don't know. It's somewhere around September 20th to the 22nd. So
Yeah, so either tomorrow or
it's probably Friday,
Saturday.
because Friday is a release day, not Sunday. So
well, it's weird because I looked at his Twitter page and he always said the 20th, but he came up, when we were talking, he said the 22nd. So I just took it as that.
Okay, so just go on the 23rd, and they'll definitely be there.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you guys
It's a
want to
weird
check out
yeah.
last
Yeah,
night at
as
DJ
mentioned
Took My Life, you can check that out.
Yep, it comes up September 20th on Diabolic DVD, twoheadeddog.com, and exclusively for Europe at silowave.com.
Yep.
There you go. Right from the horse's mouth.
But no, you got a Halloween coming in the future. You know what I mean? Like Halloween party going on. Throw it
yeah.
on.
That'd be
Fucking-
awesome for a background for a party, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now there's only I mean when I watched this, my main concern was have I seen all of these? In which I can honestly say no, I haven't. There's only two that I haven't seen: The Strange Vice of Dr. Ward and Eyeball. Those are the only two I have not seen.
You haven't seen Eyeball?
Never seen Eyeball.
Oh shit.
Are they spoiled for you? Are you not going to watch them now?
No. They're not. They're not in any way spoilery as far as I am concerned. Because I mean, look, I watch movies 50, 60, 70, 80 times over.
In a row.
If I'm not exactly, if I'm not I don't consider after watching the first 50 times a spoiler, then there's something wrong.
I think if you've already seen a movie, it's not a spoiler if you know the ending.
Yeah.
Like I know who Kaiser Soze is.
MZ, what would you say is the movie you've seen the most in your life? I'm dying to hear this.
No, it's not. I would probably say Evil Dead 2.
Wow.
Probably Evil Dead 2, because there was a time, long time ago, where I watched that every single day
Oh my God.
for like 4 months straight, literally,
That's
and
crazy.
sometimes even twice in a day,
Why?
because it's just a great movie.
I understand that.
Then-
There are movies I absolutely love, but I would not watch them every day for 4 months straight.
I was addicted to that goddamn movie. And I swear I watched it every single day for like 4 months straight, and even twice on some days.
Now, you watched them. It wasn't like you put it on and it was background. You watched it.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
yeah.
I couldn't do that.
I would be sitting on the floor playing with my baseball cards, watching the movie.
Okay, so no, I would define that as background then.
No, it's not background. I mean, I would. I'm doing my baseball cards and put the baseball cards down and just watch it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't collect baseball cards anymore. By the way,
That would be weird.
Yeah, that's for nerds.
the baseball card, the baseball card.
You
collection
could go away from the mic.
is dead. It's just fucking dead. You know, I saw this documentary that was supposed to be on baseball cards. I forget the name of it. God damn it!
Like Top something on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah,
Oh, it
yeah.
was-
It was.
Yeah, go ahead. Was it the one
Yeah.
with Colt Cabana in it?
Yeah, Colt
Yeah.
Cabana's in it, and he's in it only for like maybe 20 seconds or so.
Okay.
But it was supposed to be a documentary on baseball card collecting. Figure that this is like about an hour and a half of a documentary, and maybe the first 20 minutes of it was a documentary on baseball card collecting, and it wasn't even that good of a documentary on that.
Right.
Do you know the
The
name
rest
of
of
it by
the
chance?
Huh?
Do you know the name of it by chance?
I'm trying to remember it. Damn it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's on my queue, and I was interested in it until you kind of like said you expressed what it was
Yeah.
really about.
It's about the guy trying to because he was a big baseball card collector and he did a lot of dealings in baseball cards, and his father just, I guess, not long after the kid's bar mitzvah, just got up and left. He hiked town. He just packed his shit and left. Didn't say a word to anybody.
Yeah, the kid probably sucked. No,
is
he's 13. He's fine. He's old enough.
Is it Jack of all trades? Is that the one?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and it was just, oh my God, it was just so gut-wrenching. Not because the kid lost his father, but because it was supposed to be a documentary on baseball cards.
Right.
And here I am getting some sad sack piece of shit story about some guy trying to find his father. You know, it's like bullshit. I mean,
Fuck him.
exactly. I my baseball card collecting
Right.
documentary. That I was really interested in that. You know, you suck, dude.
Evil Corny is surprised that Cannibal Holocaust isn't the movie you've seen the most.
I'd say I've seen that maybe 65, 70 times, maybe. Maybe.
Jesus.
And
Wow.
I'm sorry, 65 times, and it's not the movie you've seen the most. Amateur
No.
hour. My God.
It's funny how Aries and MZ can like get along so well and then realize how different they are.
Oh, it's gonna be a rough ride
Well,
home.
you know, I think that's what helps. Because if we were similar, I think we would be at each other's throats.
Oh my God, I haven't seen anything 65 times. I don't think I've looked at my wife 65 times. That's true.
God.
I've seen her 65 times.
Oh, slow it down.
He will kick your ass.
He's got a mallet and whiskey.
Yeah.
He is-
No. I won't kick your ass. She'll kick your ass.
Fair. Yeah.
No, it's, you know, when you like a movie, you watch it, you know. And
Yeah,
I don't
but
buy these.
I like
I don't buy the
movies.
DVDs
I've never seen
for.
I've never seen a movie anywhere near 65 times in my life.
I mean, yeah, but you know, I mean, you pay money for these DVDs and Blu-rays. You pay money for them. What are they? I don't use them as a status symbol. You know, I use them. I watch them.
Hey, baby, just so you know, I have Cannibal Holocaust on Blue.
On
How do you use a magazine?
on Blue?
Well,
Yes, baby, come over, have some squash.
no, it's seriously. I don't use it as a status symbol. It's if I have, you know, I don't go around saying,
Right.
"Hey, I got 300 DVDs," you know,
Right.
and I don't do shit with them.
Because the Kardashians are very big on their steelbook collection.
You know, what's the point? What's the point of buying these movies if you're not going to watch them?
It's a collecting thing. I collect a lot of different things, but it's my own thing. It's in my basement. It's in my workshop.
Tiny
It's
shoes,
my own-
children.
I mean, it's my business. I collect it for myself. I don't talk about it. I don't. You know what? I buy movies. I have movies that I've never watched. Like, well, not I've seen the movie, but I've never watched the copy I own. Just because I enjoy the movie, but it was something I felt like I wanted to own. I wanted to collect that particular physical media.
Yeah, see, a lot of people think that way. A lot of people do. Me, I don't. I use them. I watch them. You know, I got them. I'm watching them. You know, I'll watch a movie like Delirium, or I'll watch a movie like Zombie, or a movie like Evil Dead, or a movie like Beyond Reanimator. You know, I'll watch those because I paid good money for them. I'm going to watch them. Once isn't going to cut it. And that's only if it's a blind buy movie that I just, you know, barely enjoy. But a movie that, you know, I'll watch those, you know, 3 or 4 times at the minimum. But I got these movies. I want to watch them, goddamn you.
But keep in mind too, though. Also, it might not always be not necessarily watch that DVD 65 times. When we were coming up, once again, you're dealing with limited channels. There was that one summer where like Weird Science and National Lampoon's European Vacation and Giant Dangerously would be on all the time.
Yeah.
So from like June to like August, you wake up in the morning, you might catch half of it, or you get the start of it, and that's what you would watch. We talked about it last week, where HBO, pretty much if it wasn't Channel 56 for like Transformers and G.I. Joe cartoons, it was HBO that was the background.
Mm-hmm.
But he's talking that he's watched the movie start to finish that a number of times.
Yeah.
I mean, there are movies that come on. I will put The Burbs is on, and I will put that on for 10 or 15 minutes and then go on with my day. I've probably done that 30 or 40 times, but I wouldn't say I've seen The Burbs 40 times.
No. Oh, no. That don't count.
Yeah,
I agree.
I've watched
that does
the
count.
Burbs, one of my all-time favorite comedy movies.
Yes.
I will put it on every time I see it that it's on. I watch that start to finish 5-6 times.
Raven Shadow.
Yes.
How many times have you seen the end of Ender's Game?
I saw a little bit of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it all fucking worked out. He probably won the game.
Now, another movie that I've seen quite a bit of, more than Cannibal Holocaust, I'll say.
Uh-oh.
And you made me remember.
Thank you.
I would say Super Fuzz is another movie that I've seen at least 100 times. I've seen that movie at least 100 times, and I could thank the early days of HBO for that.
Right.
HBO back in the early 80s, mid 80s, played Super Fuzz. And you know what? It's weird. I kept track because they played it so often. I started keeping track as to when they played it. They played it like every other day for like 6 months out of the year for like 3 years straight. It was ridiculous. HBO.
Yep.
It wasn't HBO. It became the Super Fuzz Network. You know, and and that's what it became. And and every single time it was on, I watched it. And we had the guides, so I knew when it was going to start.
Cable guy.
The old cable guy.
Cable guy.
And almost every single time it was on, I watched it from start to finish.
You know, you don't have to, right?
But I want to.
You understand that. Like, you can stop a movie like 10 minutes into it. Like, I got shit
Not
to do.
him.
Like, you can walk away.
What kind of shit does a 13-year-old kid have to do?
I don't get 13,
play with his
50. I don't
baseball
fucking
cards.
care. Like, you can walk away from the movie.
I could, but I don't.
I know that. I'm realizing that.
I just don't. I enjoy watching these movies.
I enjoy watching movies too. But I get
Rocky Horror Picture Show, I've seen at least 50 times. Never at a theater, though, so I don't know if it really counts.
You know what? That is another. That is a. I was given that movie as a gift Christmas 3 years ago from my son. It's still in the plastic.
Nice.
Wow, what
Nice
a dad.
No, I've seen it. I love that movie. He bought that movie because I love that movie. But that movie is a collecting item to me. It's I love that. I will never get rid of that physical copy of that movie.
Yeah.
Because my son gave that to me. That has a special meaning in my heart to me. it doesn't change that item doesn't change the movie to me at all. I've seen that movie a bunch of times.
But realize it's not just the movie. I mean, there's a shit ton of special features on those discs. I don't know if you care about that.
I do. And at some point when I am sick and bedridden, I probably will watch all the special features of this movie.
That's great.
Son, I'm almost dead.
When
I'll throw in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
when I find the time to wear one of the 2 robes I've gotten as gifts over the years, I will put on my robe and watch all the special features of all the movies that were given to me as gifts.
Get my robe and movie. It's time to go to the elephant graveyard. Daddy's saying goodbye.
Wow.
Now, when we go to Rocket Shock, now at Rocket Shock, I plan to.
I don't know what you're gonna.
I plan to lighten my load of DVDs. So
You're gonna utilize our table to sell movies.
that's right.
And how much of that money is going to come to Trick or Treat Radio?
Absolutely none.
That's what I thought.
You want to buy a space?
Yeah, then go sell them on the floor.
Yeah.
We're going to rent you a square of the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Take
got to pay
off.
rent.
Ah, nice. Thank you.
We
But
get 20% of every sale.
I like my movies, so
I like my movies.
I do. I do.
I like my pictures.
Fuck off, all of you. Fuck off, every one of you. God damn it.
How many times have you seen Battle Royale? I thought that might have been up there.
Oh yeah, that is up. As a matter of fact, it's weird that you bring that up because I at work I'm watching Battle Royale 2 actually at work. Yeah.
How do you
In the freezer?
Yeah, how do you watch movies at work with what you do?
I have a phone.
Oh, okay.
on my breaks.
Hello, Battle Royale.
How much break do you get?
I get a 20-minute break and a half an hour break. Half an hour lunch.
Do you spend your lunch?
See him watching Battle Royale on his phone.
Yeah, I am.
Do you like a bell ring and you just whip out your phone and just Battle Royale's on? And it's like the Fred Flintstone whistle instead of sliding down the dinosaur, you just whip out the phone.
Look at this. See?
Okay, you're showing me what? Like, what does that mean to me?
What? Oh, Jesus.
I understand there's a bunch of movies that you're in the process of watching at some point.
Oh, no.
Irish Spring, yes.
Fuck this. No, you know what? Look,
This lunch break is brought to you by Irish Spring.
I'm watching it on the Tubi app. They have Battle Royale and Battle Royale 2. But I'm not watching Battle Royale because they fucking dubbed the goddamn thing with no subtitles.
Jesus.
So I'm not watching that. I can't watch that. That's shit. So I'm watching Battle Royale 2. Battle Royale 2 is worse, but god damn it, at least it's in Japanese.
So you're watching a movie you don't like.
No, I'm not saying I don't like it. It's not great, but I'll watch it over a dubbed version of
Over
Battle
and
Royale.
over and over again.
And over and over and over again. Yes, Battle Royale I think I've seen maybe 50, 52 times. I'm really not too certain.
Oh, boy.
It sucks, but at least it's Japanese.
It's a great movie.
haven't
I
seen it.
love Battle Royale.
No, part 2. I haven't seen part 2.
Part two. You know what? Part 2. You know what? Battle Royale
With
2
cheese?
is it had a great trailer. It had a phenomenal trailer, a great teaser, and the opening, say, 20 minutes of that movie is really riveting.
Okay.
But after that, it just takes a fucking nosedive.
So why are you watching it?
To pass the time, because
I'm on lunch, Aries.
look. I'm also watching. I'm also watching Adjust Your Tracking,
I'm fucking fascinated.
which I've never seen before until now.
Okay.
I'm watching the Coneheads.
Why?
What do you mean why?
The Coneheads movie?
I enjoy that.
Stop it.
I do. It's been a couple of years, but I enjoy that.
It's stupid fun. It's stupid fun.
All right.
And I'm also watching the Angry Video Game Nerd movie.
How are you watching all this at once?
I don't know.
He has 5 phones. He puts them all up.
Well, first of all, I got to watch out with what because I've never seen Angry Video Game Nerd.
Okay.
So I don't know what to expect in terms of language. Because if you've ever watched his Cinemassacre shorts on YouTube, where he reviews video games, he swears up a storm. So, I'm in a.
Wait, slow down. So not only are you watching Battle Royale 2,
Yeah. Adjusted tracking
on your break.
Yeah.
Do you have a break room? Is there a break room?
Yeah.
So
But the door's open. And people walk by.
But you don't have headphones
on?
No, I don't.
That's fucking rude. Like that's only this much farther up than the motherfucker that makes fish in the microwave.
I got a motherfucker that work that does that, and I
See?
yelled at him today.
Yeah.
Microwave fucking fish.
That's
Who
fucking
does
wrong.
that? Do you do that?
I don't touch fish.
You can bring in.
Yeah, it'll kill him.
No. You
Yeah,
can't
you
even
can't.
fucking bring in fish.
That's fair.
It fucking work. No fish.
Yeah, no fish.
Oh shit! You know
No
what
fish zone.
You know what they just put on today?
Oh boy.
Oh my god, the Apple from Ken Films. The Apple.
Are you shaking?
One of the most inane, silly musicals ever.
I saw the pumpkin.
This is you are right. Fuck. You know that useless fuck. The Apple. Oh my god. All right. So I got a. Ooh boy, that's gonna be fun.
Guess what
Okay.
MZ's doing tomorrow at work?
Yeah,
Well, after I get done watching Just Your Tracking and Coneheads and Battle Royale 2, I'm gonna hit.
I can't
I'm gonna-
believe you fucking
What?
watch this shit at work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you keep them all like in progress. You don't finish one and then watch another.
No, I do, but because I watched BMX Bandits and Cannibal the Musical before I got to this point in my life.
Well, see, I would think like different breaks would have different movies. Like maybe like on your 20-minute break, you'd watch like BMX Bandits. It's kind of light and fluffy. And then for like your lunch, you'd have your Battle Royale 2. And then when you maybe doing your business in the go take a little poop, maybe you watch something else.
Oh my god! You know what? I want to come work with you.
Yeah.
Come work with you.
No, you don't.
I do.
You guys hiring?
Because you know what? You know what? The last thing I watched at my lunchtime
What?
was how to operate the hydro seeder they just bought me.
The hydro seeder?
A hydro seeder. They bought me a hydro seeder and said, "We need you to go do that after lunch." So I had to watch a video on how to operate this goddamn machine. So I spent my lunch. That's the videos I watch.
What the hell's a hydro seeder? I mean, it sounds like it might be self-explanatory, but what is it?
It sprays grass seed.
Did you watch the video?
I watched the video. Yes, it sprays grass seed and fertilizer onto bare ground.
Ah, okay.
Ooh.
You ever drive down the road and you see the ground looks like it's painted green?
Yep.
That was hydro seeded.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so they bought me a machine and said, watch a video and figure out how to work that.
Brought to you by Hydro Seed of America. Having fun with
Really?
Hydro Seed.
Was it still? Oh, so you didn't like keep it in the box? That you had to use it immediately? Huh?
In the box.
Yeah, it's not a memory. His son didn't give
Throw
it to
it
him.
behind my truck. It didn't come in a fucking box.
It's not like the Rocky Horror Picture Show
Yeah, right.
DVD, is it?
Watch it in your bathroom.
I got no enjoyment out of this motherfucker.
Blood flows red on the highway.
You know what? Tomorrow, look up a hydro seeder and watch a video and see how much enjoyment you get out of it. Zero. I guarantee. Zero enjoyment.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. You watch Battle Royale 2 and see how much entertainment you get out of
You're
that.
choosing to watch that.
Wow.
I'm eating my PB&J, watching a fucking video on that hydro seed. Motherfucker.
He's in a freezer watching Battle Royale.
No, I watch it in, I get a 20-minute break, then I get a half an hour break. So I'll watch roughly, 50 minutes of it.
Okay.
48, 50 minutes of it. And, and I could polish a movie off in 2 days.
But no, now do you have coworkers though who are like, "What are you watching, you maniac?" Do you have that?
No,
Like,
my concern is the language because I got a lot of people walking by and
Well, that was the question he just asked.
What?
About coworkers.
Yeah.
They don't say, "What are you watching, you maniac?"
No.
They know me.
No. Well, that's just it. They do know me.
But yeah, but like you don't think like why don't you have headphones on? Then you can just go rare back.
Because sometimes these guys, they like to talk to me about what's going on out there while I'm, trying to get my break in.
Well, like, Monster Zero, it's pretty hot out there. Huh? Look at the sun.
Yeah.
On the floor. See, I remember I don't go in the break room anymore, but I would bring like graphic novel or trades to read, and I'd put headphones in, and I wouldn't have the sound on, but that was just to kind of like have the illusion that I was listening to music.
See, people still talk to me when I put headphones on.
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got like noise, like you
The
see,
work
like,
ones. The
Oh,
work.
yeah, the work one.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
music playing in them too.
Like Eddie Murphy at the gun range.
Yeah,
Like
but like there'll be music in them too, and people still talk to me.
yeah, that sucks.
And-
Well, that's just it too, because that happens to me. Because I did try the headphones thing, and it just didn't work.
Oh yeah. Well, but it's funny because I'll do that and like be like operating equipment, but then the equipment stops, but I still have the headphones on, and someone will ask me a question, and I'll just shout at them, "Go over there and do that!" And they're like, "Why are you yelling?" Oh, sorry. Let me take those off.
Dead Heat is on there.
Really? Dead Heat with
Dead
Joe Piscopo
Yeah.
and Treat Williams?
Yeah.
It's my fucking
Holy
joint right
Jesus!
there.
How the fuck did you pull that out of your ass?
I fucking love it. I have fucking that in the fucking box over there. I fucking I love me some Dead Heat.
in the what box? Like
My DVD box,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, it's fucking
And-
fucking Detective Roger Mortis. Don't fucking tell me.
what the fuck is that?
That's his name, Roger Mortis.
Yeah.
Is
Wait,
Treat Williams' character.
That's a character. Oh, I thought it was a movie.
No, his name is Roger Mortis.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, due to some evil criminal machinations, he becomes a zombie.
Yep. Yeah, it's a zombie movie.
It's the best fucking movie ever. You never seen it?
No,
You've
Really?
never seen Dead Heat?
I thought I did, but not after you described that.
Oh man, Joe Piscopo, they're fucking shooting
Yeah.
fucking zombies.
Yeah, no, I guess I hadn't seen it.
And it's Piscopo when he was big, he got jacked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like when he was not funny on Saturday Night Live, but like he got
I don't know what I'm thinking of that I thought was Dead Heat, but yeah, no,
Really?
I haven't seen Dead Heat.
Not Red Heat. And there's two Red Heats. Monster Zero knows the other one.
I know
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
It's a women in
The-
prison film.
It's oh Jesus Christ,
He knows it.
Actually,
Johnny. So what are we
Wait.
talking about tonight?
Yeah, we're discussing what?
That's
Apparently, what MZ's been watching at work.
Yeah.
Why do you let us do this?
It's harder
Because
to.
next week he'll
yeah,
he'll
it's-
bitch that we went 3 hours.
yeah, exactly. He was the one that bitched.
all right. Well, I'll keep
Yeah.
quiet. I'll
Ugh.
keep quiet.
Whatever happened to getting out
Bullshit.
at 3.5
Bullshit.
hours? So I'm in the break room. And I'm watching butt crack.
You motherfucker.
I'm on the stairwell. And I'm watching Microwave Massacre.
All right, yes, let's move on. I was going to talk about something that I saw this week, but
Please, Johnny,
Hey,
tell
hey,
us.
if you can make it brief.
I can because you guys won't. You guys probably don't care about it, so it will be.
I care.
It will be. But they had. You guys know those. They have those Fathom events where you go and like there's like a worldwide debut. Well, anyways, there was a documentary. You guys are gonna love this. It was. It's called The Game Changers, and it's about this MMA fighter who got injured, and while he was out for like 6 months, he was researching ways to heal up and get better. And he found out about being vegan, and so he ended up making this documentary that explores how being vegan can help athletes and anyone, like help recover quicker, help basically like get rid of diseases and stuff like that. And it's got some heavy hitters behind it. It's produced by James Cameron, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jackie Chan. All of which are vegan, as far as I'm aware, and it's got a bunch of other people, like some athletes and stuff like that are behind it. So, but it's pretty interesting, and it's not one of those like preachy. It doesn't preach. It just shows you some scientific evidence and reasons as to why it's not why it's okay. Like one of the interesting things about it, I don't want to say too much because it's coming out digitally October 1st, so if people want to check it out. And I do recommend people checking it out. It's like I said, it's not going to show you some of the ones out there will show you, like slaughterhouses and stuff like that. There's not any of that, but so it's not trying to scare people into it. It just shows scientific evidence and a lot of reasons why, and it's interesting. So, I won't say too much more, but T-Dog and I caught the world premiere, and it was really good, and I recommend people check it out. So, The Game Changers, and it's got some heavy hitters behind it producing it. So, if you guys dig James Cameron, Schwarzenegger, Jackie Chan, people like that, they're behind it, and Schwarzenegger's in it as well. He's interviewed a few times, and it's got a bunch of other like world-class athletes. If you've never seen him, Raven Shadow, you'd probably love this dude, Patrick Baboumian, I think is how you say his name. He's like he's a strong man, and he's fucking huge. He's got these huge ass like chops, like these big, like beard chops. Yeah.
What's his name?
Patrick Baboumian.
Baboumian?
Yeah. But he's in it. He's featured pretty heavily, and he is like a fucking beast. But he's all vegan. So yeah, it's worth checking out. There's some cool athletes featured in it, and non-athletes as well. Like there's shows a bunch of different stories, and yeah, it's cool. So people are interested, check out The Game Changers.
What's cool, Joe, when you come up, let's go to the Loving Hut. Let's go there. I want to go there with you.
That's good. Yeah, you have been there?
Check it out. Yeah.
You don't need him to go there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I can't go there.
What?
I can't go by myself.
Why not?
Because people will fucking get talking shit. I gotta go with Johnny.
People will talk shit. Who's gonna talk shit?
I don't know. I don't know. They might not get welcome in the community. Because I'm wearing a leather jacket or some shit.
Yeah, you can't walk in there wearing that.
Why? I can't wear. But no, but I need Johnny to help me know what I like. I mean, what can I eat? What tastes like meat?
Jesus.
You know what? I'm looking at pictures of this dude,
Like I need your input.
and I got to tell you, I don't know what's more impressive: the guy's build or his mutton chops.
Yeah.
'Cause his chops are pretty serious.
Yeah, they
Look
are.
at that.
I was like, wow.
See, I wasn't kidding.
It just looks like fucking sideburns.
How about you, Sideburns?
Cider.
How about you, Sideburns? You want some of this
How
vegan
much
milk?
is sideburns?
I'd rather have a
No
beer.
milk will never be out.
I'm sorry. You know what? Those fucking just happened. He fucking lifted weights to look like get the fucking arms like that. Be more impressed with the arms than the fucking chops.
So there's a lot of chat going on in the chat room. We have, let's see. Corny says, Raven Shadow, you and I have the same headphone scheme.
See, baby, I'm on the same page.
Jethro says, I just don't feel like I can sign on for the vegan thing. My diet is already severely limited. And I don't know what your diet is, Jethro, but chances are you can probably substitute almost anything. Nowadays it's really easy. And he says, Jethro says, are you worried about being bullied by vegans?
Yes. Well, no, I mean, like,
look at Patrick Baboumian.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. A lot of vegans I know are pretty. Look at, I'm a meat eater.
Well, the problem is if you walk in there and go, I am a meat eater, they're gonna fucking tear you apart. If you
Well, that's a little fucking hypocritical, don't you think?
well, yeah, a little bit, but if you walk in there and say, I'm open to, I want to embrace this,
Yeah.
they will help you.
Yeah, but I need Johnny to speak for them. He needs to translate.
Translate what?
It shows that I have a friend in the vegan community, so I'm one of them.
By simply walking in there and saying, help me,
Raven
they
Shadow.
will help you.
Am I the equivalent of your black friend?
No.
That's kind of what you're doing here.
Yeah,
I'll be like
yeah.
Indiana Jones, and he's like my
Oh,
guy.
I know a vegan. I got a vegan
Yeah.
friend. I don't hate vegans. I got a vegan friend.
Yeah, Johnny eats lettuce. But like my fan doesn't want me to go there by myself. He wants me to go with you, and I think that that'd be a moment we could share. We could share.
You just pointed to the audience.
All of us.
Corny
Why
says,
don't you have a Raven Shadow like meeting at the vegan hut? See how many people show up.
Yeah. Michael Vegan Shag.
But I want to
Pick a time and a date, and just everyone that wants to try the vegan lifestyle meet at I don't know what the fuck is it called?
The Loving Hut.
Loving Hut.
There's
At
two.
whatever.
There's two locations in Worcester, Ravenchild. Don't get too confused by that.
Uh-oh.
The one across from the Papa John's. That apparently Shaq now owns now. Because that dude's the pooch, the true Papa John.
So Corny says I've been cutting some meat out of my diet. I've been eating Beyond Meat, which is really good. I agree. And Jethro says, are we sharing moments with the vegans?
Yeah. I mean, I was a vegan until I was 17, but then I met this girl.
No, you weren't.
I was different.
Evil Corny says I am Ravenchild's black friend, and yes.
Come up, Corny. We'll go to the vegan hut with Johnny. It'd be outrageous.
All right,
I'm willing to give it a shot. I don't know if I seriously doubt I'm going to convert to full veg, but I think that I'm going to give it a shot.
Veg? Are you Kevin Veg?
The two of you can go.
No.
MZ, did you?
Wow.
No.
Holy crap.
No. Because let me tell you
Wait, Johnny, could you sense that awkwardness out of that?
Yes, I think everyone could.
But no, because I'm going to hang out with Monster Zero. We're going to fucking...
No, apparently you're not.
No, I definitely want to go eat with Monster Zero, but we're hanging out. We're going to Coney Island. We're going to our Radishes. We're going to get something that's bad for us.
Yeah.
So why can't the two of you embrace this together?
I want to go with Johnny.
Why?
Because Johnny knows what I will like.
No, he doesn't.
Only you know what.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what you will like.
No, I put them in you, Johnny. What here is what I eat. You've seen me eat before. What among
He's
this?
not going to be able to do that. He's not a magician.
They don't have vegan pizza skins there.
Oh, you stumped him. What, you mean he's not?
Well, we did it at the place we go that you liked a lot. The
Moe's.
Yeah.
Moe's.
Yeah, so Johnny, what do I like you?
Yeah, when we went to Moe's, it was fine.
Yeah.
So you went to a Mexican place.
Yeah.
A place that's beans, rice, and tortillas.
As mentioned before, I'm very gringo.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
everything there, beans, rice, and tortillas. Maybe something else added to it. Not that difficult to figure out what you'd eat there.
Oh, will you go to Moe's with me?
Yeah, you'll eat beans, rice, and tortillas with a little cheese.
All right.
What the fuck? What?
You'll shit like a truck driver.
Jesus, what? I don't even know what that means.
Food is number 2.
I work with truck drivers, believe me.
He apparently investigates this
Believe
shit
me.
too.
After they're on the road for 6, 7, 8 hours, they come back and they go to the bathroom. You can tell.
What does being on the road for 6 to 8 hours have to do with
because
that?
it percolates inside your stomach, in your guts for so long. You're on the road. You want to get back home, and it just percolates. Happened to me when I was in your car one time, dude. What the? I remember we were heading over to Wolfie's place to do the show. He stops to get a couple of pizzas. I don't know if you remember this. It was cold out. And no, because he had the automatic heaters on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
my stomach, okay, you remember now.
No,
my stomach was gurgling. Okay, my stomach was churning. My guts were starting to turn into a high rolling, boiling cauldron of shit. And I was like, God damn, we got to get to a bathroom quick.
What part
a
of this
story.
is his fault?
For having heated seats.
He had heated seats.
You could have shut him off?
Turn him off, Johnny. Oh, no, I did.
Okay, so what part of this is his fault?
I had him on to begin with.
It wasn't massaging your colon. Jesus Christ.
No.
You're a piece of work.
Thank you.
Perfect.
So how did you get all the truck drivers have anything to do with Johnny's heated seats?
Yeah, exactly.
Because the drivers who come back, you can always tell a driver that goes to the bathroom in the bathroom when he comes back from driving. I can always tell.
Okay.
Look at the fucking nose on Brad.
No,
Jesus.
it's just
smell it. I
just
can
something
smell
I
it.
know. It's just something I know.
It's
It's just
something I
you
know.
can't explain it.
That's a hell of a
No, you can't
superpower.
explain it. It's just something that you know. You know, I can't understand it, but I just know.
Don't fucking tell me. I know when guys shit. Okay.
I just know you've been driving for 6 to 8 hours.
Hey,
It's been-
Travis.
It's been
Been on the road?
Yeah, it's been percolating. Corny wants to know why you've been hanging out in bathrooms, MZ. Is he Mr. Wimple?
Because I want to be all like all the cool kids, you know? I mean, all the cool kids get to hang out in the bathroom,
Yeah, you can't
Why
smoke in
can't
there
I?
no more.
you know?
What cool kid is hanging out in the bathroom? I gotta know.
Haven't you ever been in high school? All the cool kids hang out in the high school bathrooms.
Wow.
That's what I
I'm gonna move on for your sake, MZ, so this doesn't
Thank you.
continue.
Thank you.
All right,
bro.
so we do need to wrap this up because we need to head to a intermission. So if you guys want to help support the show, go to Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And there's been some talk about getting some content up there. So it'll happen within hopefully the next few days before the next live show next week. We should have something up. So for all of our Patreon supporters, we appreciate your patience, and we will get something out there very soon. We've got an idea what we're going to do. And then coming up in October, obviously less than a month from now, actually, is Rock and Shock. So if any of you are within driving distance, you're in the area, or you got some expendable income, you want to burn it, come hang out with us at Rock and Shock. It's going to be October 11th, 12th, and 13th. And the headlining guest is Bruce Campbell, who actually will, I saw a week prior to Rock and Shock, he's actually going to be in my backyard here in Maryland at a convention at Monster Mania.
Ah, yes.
And actually, Corey from Movie Massacre just messaged me, and he's going to be there. So if I happen to find my way there, I'm going to try to hang out with Corey. But it's a busy weekend for me, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Plus, I don't know if
That's
I want
fucking
to.
content.
Plus, I don't know if I
And
want to
Bill-
go to conventions 2 weeks in a row.
And Bill Mosley just signed on today, so they just added him today.
Oh, to Rock and Shock?
Yep.
Oh, nice. It's been a while since Bill's been there, right?
It's been a couple of years, yeah.
That's cool, though. So if you guys want to help support the show, like I said, patreon.com/trickortreatradio, you can join for as little as $2 a month. And then it goes up from there, and you get some premium content if you would like to have it. You can also, there's a few other ways you can help support the show. Head on over to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click it, bring it right to Amazon, input our affiliate link, and everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. Doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. So if you guys do want to help us keep the lights on, there's a few ways you can do so. And also, finally, head on trickortreatradio.com. You can click on store, and there is some digital content there. You can get the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio volumes 1 through 3 right there on the website. So give that a look as well if you haven't purchased those. And also, this is probably a given. I think most people have subscribed to us by now. But if not, you guys can subscribe to us. We're available on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and the Satchel Podcast Player. And if you have not yet done so, and we would appreciate getting some more reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts. Go ahead, give us the 5-star review, and then also leave a few words about what you dig about the show so other people can read them and find out why they should listen. It would be most appreciated. All right, Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch the movie this week, Depraved. What do you do to prepare?
I get excited, Johnny, because I'm coming off my second triumphant appearance on the JB show.
yeah, that's right.
Tales from the Podcast. It was very nice. We did episode 6 featuring Terry Hatcher and Miguel Ferrara.
Terry Hatcher's on the show.
Yeah, it was nice. And I completely derailed the episode. I spent about a half an hour talking about Lois and Clark and Dean Cain.
Hey,
Yeah,
this is my shocked face.
He came when he was thin.
It was nice. Yeah, no, it was very exciting. Very exciting. And I actually have a little gift from JB. Well, someone, why don't you open this, Monster Zero?
Oh, okay. Don't mind if I
Is it
do.
a check?
Yeah, it's a little flaccid.
It's a little limp. Yeah.
Well, that's why.
It's change.
It's my residuals.
3 cents. Yeah, that's how many Spotify plays you've earned.
Yes. But yeah, there could be something there.
Oh, hey now.
Yeah, a couple of tails. What's
Yeah.
that? What do you have in your hands there?
I
MZ?
have in my hand
Thank
Tales from the podcast. Looks like stickers. Or is it stickers?
Yeah,
or,
it's stickers.
Or is it a patch? Looks like, is it a sticker?
I'm
It's
going
a
to guess sticker.
Yeah, I'm going to guess sticker too.
Yeah.
So I'll just bring that up to the camera.
Put on your 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Jesus
Corny-
Christ, can you get that any closer?
Corny duck.
Nice. He's showing the sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, JB.
Is there one there for Johnny, I think?
There is. You can mail it to him.
Yeah.
Why don't we wait till he comes up and he'll get it quicker?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be there in a couple weeks.
That's exciting. But yeah, episode is going to be airing in October, the 6th episode of season 2, on the road to 666.
Nice.
So it was very exciting. So as I
Nice of him. Thank you.
thank you, JB.
dude.
So as I talk about Tales from the Crypt. Somehow I eventually fit in a Tales from the Crypt conversation in there. But we discussed the show and the comic, and that should be dropping sometime in October, just in time for Rock and Shock. So all that commotion, Aries, all that commotion.
What?
What I'm trying to tell you is with all that commotion,
The locomotion?
with all the locomotion,
Jesus fucking
Oh
Christ.
my God.
know what I had to do, Aries?
I don't.
Let me tell you.
I really don't.
Know what I did?
I don't.
I strapped on.
Oh, fuck.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories
With your host, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action.
horror.
An adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast,
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast!
a podcast for the barbarian at heart.
This is Chocolate Beast. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, but you should be eating nougat.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
Please, you can't even count to 21 without taking off your pants.
All right. We have returned on Trick or Treat Radio. All right. We got a movie to talk about here, dudes.
Whew. Man.
We are going to talk
How Chris
about...
North was.
We're going to talk about Depraved from 2019, this drama horror thriller. is 1 hour 54 minutes. It is written and directed by Larry Fessenden, and it stars David Call, Joshua Leonard, Alex Bro, Anna Kane, Maria Dizia, Chloe Levine, and Owen Campbell. The synopsis: a disillusioned field surgeon suffering from PTSD makes a man out of body parts and brings him to life in a Brooklyn loft. Sounds like a familiar synopsis, right? We've seen this before.
It's oddly familiar. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it.
So it make no bones about it. This is a retelling, a modern day retelling of Frankenstein. Like that, it's not masking that. It's not hiding that. It's
it doesn't hide that at all.
Yeah, it's very forthright in saying so, and I think it might even say on the poster. Let me take a look and see if it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so it's very clear. Lane, even like the poster, if you see the most recent poster, that the IFC Midnight poster, it's definitely a take on the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah,
Frankenstein's
there's
monster.
no ways about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely it's a cross between how he looks in the movie and Frankenstein.
Yeah.
The original monster. Yeah.
So, just a little bit of background on Larry Fessenden. We've talked about Larry a lot on the show, but it's been a while, so I figured we'll do a little catch up. And Larry is kind of one of the, I wouldn't say, let me take that back. I was going to say one of the original indie filmmakers, but I would say in this day and age, in our generation, he is one of the forefathers of indie filmmaking. And he's done a pretty good amount of films himself. He's acted in a ton of films. He has 23 credits under his belt as a director, some as shorts and and documentaries and stuff like that. But he's done a few feature films. Probably his most successful, I would say, will probably be Wendigo, which is quite good. It came out in 2001. But he's done a bunch of other stuff as well, and this is his first film since 2013. He did a film called Beneath, and he did a short in ABCs of Death 2, N is for Nexus. I don't actually remember that one. Do you guys remember N is for Nexus by chance?
Not at all.
No.
I remember the name, but I don't remember the short, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah.
He did a good movie back in 2007 called The Last Winter.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, check that out.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen The Last Winter, and I definitely want to check it out. He's definitely an interesting character for sure, and he has spawned. I think the reason why I call him like maybe grandfather is a better way of saying it, because he's spawned a lot of other people that have worked underneath him, that have gone on to do other stuff, and. So he's basically, there's a lot of 6 degrees of Larry Fessenden that you can do in independent cinema, especially in horror. And he runs his own company, Glass Eye Pix, and he's been producing a lot as well. So Larry he's certainly a national treasure in indie filmmaking, and and he can back it up with his credentials as well. So, and we do. Before we get too deep into it, we do have a nice Larry Fessenden quick cameo in this, which I think is the first time we've seen him all year in a movie.
In the bar. Yep.
Yes. So
I was kind of hoping that he would have a few lines, but he didn't.
I marked out pretty hard.
I saw that. I'm like, oh shit, there he is.
And it's kind of funny because it's like a quick pan, and like it almost like zooms in or focuses on him like a half a second longer than you normally would like linger on like a side character like that. But I just thought that was kind of funny that they did it that way.
It was almost like the Hey Kids, it's Mark Hamill.
Yeah, exactly.
From Jane Silent Bob.
Yep. So, all right. So, Depraved. Now, the movie starts off kind of interesting. We get, I think it was Alex and what was Chloe Levine's character's name was? Lucy, yep.
Lucy.
So we get Alex and Lucy, and, they're having what seems like a kind of very realistic sort of conversation of, now that we're out of school, like, she kind of hints at kids, and he's like, like kind of hesitant. And, I just thought that was kind of a cool little scene. And then Alex leaves, and he gets stabbed, and pretty brutally.
But but here's the thing about that though, like that conversation. So I mean, you'll be up to a young, very early 20-something couple.
Yeah.
And it's the dude Alex's birthday. And I don't know about you guys, but like I fucking cringed the way he like talked to his girlfriend. Like basically it's a really cool like romantic moment, and they're moving in together. Like they're barely like joining their lives. And she says something wrong, he takes it out of context, and it just fucking spirals from there. And I just cringed every time the dude talked.
Yeah. But it seemed realistic to me. It wasn't like it was like forced or anything like that. I could see that whole thing sort of happening, So, we have this scene, and then all of a sudden Alex gets stabbed pretty brutally, and then cut to opening credits. And from there, we see basically a stitched together man waking up off a table. And it's clearly not Alex. It's it's someone else, a different actor, and played by Alex Bro. I think that's how you pronounce it. Bro. Do you guys know?
Hey, bro.
Breaux. So, anyways, I'm not too familiar with Alex. He looked vaguely familiar, but he was in Bushwick, which you guys remember with Dave Bautista. He had I think a small role in that, and he was in a couple other things here and there. Nothing I recognized him from other than Bushwick. So, but he's got a pretty interesting look to him. He looks like I don't know if he looked tall to me, but I don't know if it was just the way he that it was shot. But he's kind of looks like he has a bit of an imposing sort of stature on screen.
Yeah, I thought his casting was very interesting because when you look at this guy, he's got very long features. It's hard to tell if he is tall. I'm going to assume that he is.
He's
but
6'3".
All right. So that's good height. But when you look at him, he's got very long features. He's got a very long face. Yeah. Very squarish head, sort of in a sense. So I kind of figured that if they were going with the Frankenstein vibe, which they obviously were, that they were going to get an actor to play the role of Adam, to have that kind of physical feature to accentuate the fact that this is a Frankenstein movie without going into the whole prosthetic idea of giving him like a square head, and maybe even the typical bolts and and things like that. So I think casting him was a real smart move.
He kind of had a kind of tiny vibe, a little bit, right?
No. I could see what you mean, but I don't think he necessarily looked like him. But no. Kind of tall, long limbs. Yeah, I could kind of see what you're saying. But
he didn't have the build, but he was.
Yeah, he wasn't skinny. He's thin, but he's not tiny thin.
Right, and that wasn't a criticism. It was just like it kind of just some of the features a little bit just seemed to.
He has a bit of a muscular stature to him.
Yeah,
Yeah, so apparently, in looking at his bio on IMDb, it says he was a wide receiver punter for Harvard's varsity football team. So he did play football, which I guess makes sense. But yeah, he was also, and he also was in the drama division at the Juilliard School in New York City. So we know clearly has a acting background as well. But no, I think he was an interesting choice for this, and right from the get go when you see, so the character ends up getting named Adam. Obviously, Adam and Eve, the first man, since this is an experiment to basically, stitch together a human. And I think this was a great physical performance because a lot of it was, there was some good makeup in this for sure, but a lot of it was in the way that he carried himself, in the way that he positioned his body. Like, it almost looked like he was like out of place, like some parts were out of place or something. Like his shoulder was up high where the other one kind of drooped down, things like that. And I thought that it was, it was a pretty physical performance to do this. I mean, obviously he wasn't, doing that the whole time. Because later on, we see him early on. He's basically not wearing much, but then he ends up wearing clothes later on, so he doesn't have to accentuate as much. But I thought that was a nice sort of very physically demanding, I would say, in the way that he held himself.
No, I really love the practical effects that they threw on this guy. They did a real bang up job, almost to the point of because when I'm watching him and I'm watching him, you see all these stitches on him. I couldn't help but think of the Bride of Frankenstein. It just drew me right to that, because the stitch work in Bride of Frankenstein is really quite outstanding. If you really look at that movie and you look at Elsa Lancaster's performance, I think he takes a lot of the mannerisms of being a quote unquote reborn individual, straight from her. And I think the stitch work that was placed on her, where you get it on the forearm, on the neck, one under the chin that wraps around the ear, just like he's got.
Yeah.
And you got the discoloration of the skin, which really makes it pop. It's really, really good. But like you were saying, his physical performance in this movie really brought out the makeup job that was done on this character.
Now, I mean, I will agree that the whole stitching aspect of it looked really good, and the ear, especially, because that definitely took, it was definitely supposed to be from a different person, but a lot of the other stitching, it was implied that it was a different person, but it didn't give you anything else beyond the fact that it was just a complete stitch around a body part to lead you to believe that it was taken from someone else. Like, you had someone that was he's definitely a very slender individual, but you're going to find 4 or 5 exact builds to him. Like, it led you to believe that it was a patchwork, but it just fit too close together for me.
Well, I mean, and that's fair. I thought about that. I mean, one thing we didn't see would be like different skin color.
That's what I mean. The ear was the only thing. Other than that, I mean, you had a
tattoo,
a stitch. Well, you had a tattoo. Boo-hoo, yeah. But you had a stitch all the way around the forearm.
All right.
That led you to believe that from that stitch down was a different person. Mm-hmm. It matched completely. There was no different in size or color.
I mean, I totally get what you're saying, but for me, it was one of those things that I didn't even think of, and I think that the stitching did enough for me, and even highlighting the ear, I think was enough, and even like if you look at it, his arm had like a I don't know how, like I don't know what you'd call it, but it was like hinged together, And my guess was that it's because it didn't fit quite right,
I took that as it for whatever reason it wasn't taking, like the bone was broken or whatever, because it was definitely from the hand up past the forearm.
Yeah.
It more seemed like something that in more traditional medicine would be internally. Where you need to have pins and screws because of a break, would be more internally because of what medicine this is. It was visual. It was external.
And also, I'll give credit to Brow, whatever his name is, on the stitching that he had to take on the back of the head where there would be some hair loss involved. And I don't know, man, that looked like that was real. I mean, as far as having to shave a line on the back of his head to make the effects of stitching on the back of his head look convincing. So there's a little bit of dedication involved as well, as far as an appearance standpoint goes. Because I mean, you're walking around, you're not shooting, you're walking around with this big long stripe, shaved across the back of your head. People take notice.
No, actually, they really cut people's body parts together to film this, much like the rash from.
You could just go fuck yourself right now.
that movie.
You could go fuck yourself right now.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the appearance of the stitching. It was just there wasn't enough of a contradiction between the two different body parts for me. The fact that they took the effort to make the ear look so much different and then ignore everything else was a little bothersome for me. Even if they had, I mean, you mentioned the tattoo. That was a solid tattoo. That was okay. You know what? I mean, what led me to believe that he couldn't have had that tattoo? If it was half of a tattoo, that would have been something more.
And I just think of that too, like if it was like a half of a full sleeve or whatnot.
Yeah, even if if the upper arm was a full sleeve tattoo and then right at the stitch, nothing.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
that would have been something a little bit more.
To be fair, and I know that it shouldn't deter you from from having your qualms, but it's a fairly low budget movie, and like it would be difficult to do what you're trying to do, what you're trying to say,
I mean, Joel, just because they did so much in the one thing with the ear, take a little bit away from that and add something to something else.
I know what he's saying, and he's making sense, because not everything.
Stop making sense.
As far as skin tone goes, not everything should be matching except the ear. If you want to have more of a mix and match sort of puzzle put together, have different skin tones to indicate that there are added people.
Exactly. I mean,
it makes sense.
Raven Shadow just put his arm against mine, and there's definitely a different tone there. The three of us in this room, our skin tones are all completely different. Just a little bit of different tone,
right?
But also,
all very Caucasian, by the way.
But also,
a contrast.
It could also deal with how long all the other body parts have been in there, how they were stored. Whoever might have had a tan at that point might not have had one by the time that the doctor, what's his name, Henry, decided to put all these pieces together. This movie takes place in the middle of winter time, so not really everybody's going to have a tan at that point, right?
But not everyone's skin tone is going to exactly match. I mean, just if they had
what you're saying.
If there had been one other, especially on the one that is the complete stitch around the forearm, where it was obvious that was supposed to be someone else's forearm. If they had created a different tone, that would have appeased me. Just because that was so obvious that was supposed to be someone else.
I get what you're saying. I just think it's just a minor nitpick, really.
Yes,
visually, I think that's a major nitpick.
All right.
Moving on. Sorry.
Trick.
So, I don't even know what I was going to fucking talk about now. The dude's name. Let's run it through Google Translate and see what Google says.
Bro.
Okay.
Bro.
There you go. So if we're wrong, we got it from Google. But Alex Bro, yeah, I think this is a really strong performance by him. And once again, we've talked about this before. His performance in this film makes or breaks this movie. If he is not on point, this movie isn't believable, But if he is able to pull it off, then the movie has a very strong chance of being successful. And for my money, I think he pulled it off with like flying colors.
Oh, I agree. I agree from his physical appearance to his physical performance. up and down the board. I think, and also in terms of having his brain, to borrow a phrase from Raven Shadow.
Yes.
Bambaleo.
Teaching him to learn.
Yeah.
So he's it's his brain function that's also maturing, trying to learn how to learn.
Right. Yeah. I'm
Thank
trying
you.
that. You're welcome.
Walking, moving, and we go through this whole process with him, and I think it's done I think he does it very well. I think it's edited very well. I think it's paced very well.
Yes.
I like the frustration with the I forget the character's name.
Henry. Henry's the scientist. Henry's Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Henry's the doctor.
The instructor.
Yeah.
The frustration with trying to teach him.
But to be fair, though, he just made a dude out of all the dead dudes and made this dead dude alive.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
But baby steps.
That's what I'm saying. The frustration with trying to teach him where he feels like he should be learning faster because he's teaching an adult. Right. I love that. And it's also it delves into his PTSD, which you see that poke out at times.
Yeah,
where it's he snaps at times where it's like, what are you getting mad about? It's okay. You have your own issues that you're dealing with this.
Yeah, he's teaching him how to use his reflexes and playing ping pong.
It was good.
Yeah, he was almost like getting to be like Forrest Gump.
I was thinking that. Yeah. Franken Gump.
Oh my God.
But I felt bad for him.
Felt bad for who?
I felt bad for Adam.
That's all right. Now, Raven Shadow, now you're on to what I was going to get at.
Okay.
That's the fucking point. And that's why he played this so well. And I can't take credit for this observation because this is all T-Dog, but we watched it last night, and she said, was this movie perfect? No. But what is the core of Frankenstein? It's about the emotion, and it's about the sympathy for the monster, right?
Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly.
It's an emotional story, and you need to feel sympathy for the monster. Did they achieve that? I think they absolutely did, and I think that, it's interesting what they do with Henry. The doctor with PTSD. He was just in the war, and he had sort of this interesting motivation because he couldn't save people in the war. He lost a lot of soldiers and friends and
right.
And whatnot. And they even show like one flashback scene where he saves a guy, only to have the guy die like a few seconds later. And he's and he was missing his arm. And it's just kind of interesting to see that. I thought that was a pretty powerful scene, and you never really feel for Henry. Like, Henry is caught up in this thing because we also have another character who is played by Joshua Leonard from Blair Witch Project.
Oh, are you fucking real for real?
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy with the long hair.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have such long hair anymore.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Polidori.
Polidori, yeah. So
he was good. He was good. He was a douchebag, but that was the character.
He was the only one. He's the only character in this whole movie, really, that there's really no sympathy that you can attach to him too. Because
you gotta see Aries' face right now.
because
I live near an airport, and Aries hearing a plane, and he's freaking out like all of us looking at the mailman.
I'm sorry. A plane sounds like a bomb. A plane coming in for a landing sounds like a bomb about to hit.
Bambaleo.
He's really like the only unsympathetic character in this whole movie. Really.
Yeah.
Main character, I should say.
And I would agree with that, yeah. And you're not supposed to feel for him. He's kind of like the cold. He just wants money, basically. He wants money and fame out of this. And he's the one that's kind of funding the whole thing. And Henry is the one who has the smarts, basically, right? The smarts and the know-how to do it.
It's funny though. I mean, this movie is clearly, it makes no bones about it. This is a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go like exactly on the nose where like no one's named Frank. You know what I mean? There's no like,
Although
it's not Henry.
There was a character named Shelley.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Yes, there was. Yeah.
But I thought that
interesting.
was a decent tribute. It wasn't like ham-handed. It was just kind of like
Yeah.
one character.
Oh, that was the girlfriend.
Yeah.
No, Shelley was the
Not the girlfriend. The girl he
girl.
met in the bar. Yeah.
Yeah, the girl he met in the bar.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they flat out call him Frankenstein. Like,
did they?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
they did.
They had the lightning effects, which is all you need.
No,
all you needed to know. Like you didn't need
scroll backwards.
You didn't need any backstory of how he got animated because you could figure it out, right? There was some kind of electrical shit going on.
What the fuck? I can't
That's Frankenhooker.
Henry was flat out called Frankenstein by the hell's his name there?
Polidori.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flat out called him Frankenstein.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Oh, how do you not catch? Like, it wasn't like hidden at all. It was almost like, is his name Franken? Like, it made me think that they were actually calling him like Leonard Frankenstein in this movie.
I didn't catch that at all.
It was towards the end of the movie. It was in the third act of the movie.
In the cabin?
Okay, in the cabin, yes.
John, it's the third act. All right.
We're getting hung up on stupid shit.
Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
His toenails were too long.
And then we see him and I mean Adam start to interact with Henry's girlfriend Liz.
Yep.
Who it's not forced upon us to for this, but all of a sudden there's a certain attractiveness that Liz has towards Adam. It's not fully that's not fully developed, but Adam has. I'm not saying Adam has the same feelings, but it's just his curiosity, because there's a scene in the bedroom where he just starts touching her, and then because he's just curious. Right. He's not sexually attracted to her.
But I think it is made known that all his parts are functioning.
Yes.
Some to different degrees of control than others. But they were kind of getting ahead too. I mean, like, we have this great progress, and you have Henry talking to a benefactor, who we eventually see is what's his face?
Polidori.
And it's so funny that not that it took me out of it, because that's where the movie plot comes from, and you got to have certain things, but like, you're putting all this care into creating a life, but yet you're kind of being a dick to him at the same time too.
Well, he also was just sort of like dollar signs to some people, so.
Yeah, because he kept on saying, "Look, there's no more trial run period. You made it. You did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's time to start cashing in."
And Henry was, more empathetic towards Adam, even though he did get frustrated and didn't know what to do necessarily, but Polidori was the one that just was cold and calculated and had no redeeming qualities necessarily.
And definitely don't give Frankenstein Coke. That's a bad idea. That's not good for
maybe pump the brakes on that one.
Yeah. Fine. Do some whiskey, whatever, make you feel good about yourself, but yeah, don't do Coke with Frankenstein.
Now, as a production,
that might be the episode title.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Lines off of the top of Frankenstein's head?
Yeah. It wasn't like one bump. They're really driving home, doing like lines off. It was outrageous.
Oh, Lily.
Oh.
Well, now you know what the stripe in the bride's hair was.
Wow.
Oh man. Buck electricity. Just give us a bucket.
From a production standpoint now, what I really liked, at first I wasn't sure if I got it or not, or if there was even a purpose behind it, but the hallucinogenic synapses that were sparking all throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was an indication that Adam was learning a little bit more about who he is, because from what I gather, the character of Alex, the part of Alex that's in Adam is his brain.
Just the brain, right? It was all just
That's
the brain.
that's all
yeah.
Yeah,
because Polidori says I even got you a fresh brain or something like that.
Yeah. So I think that the exploding synapses on the screen kind of indicate that he is learning more and more as the movie continues. And
More awareness. More.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's what I took it as.
Yeah, I think that's safe bet, and it was pretty cool just to see it's one of those things that I think can really toe the line between being a little corny and also being interesting, and I think that this just kind of walked that line well, where it didn't get kind of overpowering, and I thought it was pretty good.
And I think the camera work was also really good too. I think the camera work. I thought the editing was, at times, it felt kind of jarring, but I also got it. Like you would get these. It happened like maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 times where you get this really quick edit of some sort of an action going on, like say like a drink being poured or playing pool or something on that idea, where they would just have like these really quick edits, maybe like 5, 6, 7 edits in these things.
Yeah. And
it was just it's eye-catching. It caught me. It was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not used to that, but it that's what made the movie set on its own. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, it's simple. It should be really nondescript, really, but it caught my eye. And I thought, okay, this is a different take on the Frankenstein genre, and it's also a different take on how we look at how editing is done to a small degree.
I mean, I thought the scene when he was listening to Henry on the phone, and you could just see him like peeking through the door, and depending where he put his head, you could maybe see his eye and like block the scar or the ear, and that was done really well. And once again, you all this care involved, and even this teaching, and it's almost like you get to a point, even with a child, if you're having a grown-up conversation, do it where the child can't hear you. I think this might be the most sympathetic incarnation of the Frankenstein mythos, because it truly was these two humans that really drove him on his dark path. There was no villagers in this. No one knew nothing until you have this guy sequestered in. You're grooming him if the loft is his incubator, and not even showing like television. I don't think there were songs, but then he goes from this is his environment. These walls are only his, to then let's take him out into fucking New York and go to fucking strip clubs and shit. Bad fucking idea.
And do coke.
Yeah, coke, whiskey, and strip clubs. Once again, this Saturday.
Wait, was he hanging out with Aries?
Yeah, seriously. But I enjoy that. But I don't know if newborn baby Frank really needs to.
New bomb Turk.
New bomb Frank really needs to have fucking coke and whiskey on his first day out.
Well, and one of the interesting things is about the title of the film. It's not the monster that's depraved; it's the fucking humans, and there's sort of fight over him. Like.
Well, that's how it. You see enough of these movies. That's kind of a given. That's how I thought of it as. I mean, Depraved. If it's a Frankenstein movie and the movie's called Depraved, it's got to be about the humans. It can't be about the monster, because if you take that sympathy away from the monster, then it's not a Frankenstein monster. It's not a Frankenstein movie anymore.
Right.
Because we brought that up earlier. It's the core of the movie. That's what it's about. It's about the monster. It's not about the people. Fuck the people. It's about the monster. It's about the sympathy for the monster. You take that away, you don't have a Frankenstein movie.
I thought it was interesting that the character that was only interested in the financial benefit of the monster was the one that cared about the person behind the monster, whereas the creator referred to it as an it.
Yeah.
Where he he was the father figure, but it wasn't it to him. It was more about his own self benefit from creating life because of all the life that he couldn't save. But
from
this
his accomplishment, right?
But this was still an it to him.
And I think having the shell shock and the Afghanistan war background was really interesting to the premise. I think it's a really cool wrinkle, and I think that was his. Obviously, this idea was sticking in this dude's craw.
Yeah.
For a while, and his either on again, off again girlfriend was remarkably fucking down. Team fucking player.
Yeah, totally.
That's for fucking damn sure.
Well, for her to walk into his apartment after the weeks or months of no connection, to have this person present himself the way he did, for her not to run screaming that just shows like I don't even know what that shows about her.
And then and despite where things went as the film progressed,
she 100% like 200% on board with this whole situation.
Like, marry this chick, bro.
Yeah, you could do no wrong.
Yeah, like fucking marry this chick, dude, because this chick is like fucking like Tulip meets fucking Alabama Whirly, fucking all on the same day. Like, she was fucking
all on the same day.
Yeah, like she's fucking down to ride. Saying.
So, and clearly this story did mirror a lot of what happens in the original Frankenstein story, but done in a different way. Obviously, modern day retelling, and I thought that it was an interesting way of doing it. And there is some, I think there's some social commentary here. I think another watch would be good for me because it's one of those ones I was so focused on what was going on with the monster and sort of the emotional stuff that I think there's some stuff that might have got past me. But one thing that I thought was interesting, and it definitely seemed like it was a little bit of a take on the meds and how everyone is taking their fucking cocktails of meds and everything like that. You gonna say something, Raven Shadow?
No, and I like that too.
Because they focused on them pretty clearly, especially when he's taking them in the beginning, and they kept kind of showing that, and they were talking about, because this all really was about what, I can't remember the name of the pill that they were testing, but there was one that they were testing. Polidori was like, kept mentioning it, but and then he even mentioned something to Adam, like, hey, don't stop taking this. If he tries to make you stop it, keep taking it, So I thought that was kind of interesting, and it just was kind of a little bit of a commentary on what a lot of people need to do to survive these days, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. That's not for me to say. I mean, for some people it definitely works, but the thing that's interesting is a lot of times one pill doesn't make you larger. I almost started singing the song. One pill will take care of one, one symptom, and then give you all these side effects. And then you need to take another one to counteract those, and then another one to counteract those. It's this vicious cycle, and I'm not saying that the medical, pharmaceutical companies know exactly what they're doing all the time, but I think in a way they do maybe 90% of the time. I think they know that, hey, like this is money. We're going to make a lot of money off of this, and, let's get everyone prescribed on this shit, So I just thought that was just sort of a little interesting sort of commentary on that. And not to say that it was a very in-depth one, but, just kind of focusing on it and showing it a little bit here and there.
Well, I took that a couple different ways too, and I think both characters kind of had, maybe even almost had their own certain point of view, because obviously I don't know what all the drugs did, but you're healing body parts. Once you buy into that, and obviously Adam, he healed. His scars went away, and his hair grew back. He had these pills were having some effect. Now,
Yep.
part of me maybe thought maybe some of the pills would keep him docile and maybe not aggressive. Keep him maybe some for healing, some for his mood, and the fact that his creator Henry wanted to move him off of that. So it's almost like it was less about making the a man out of corpse parts, where it was just make sure whatever this drug did worked, and then Henry wanted to create life, whereas his partner wanted to shill for the big farm. You know what I mean? And I keep forgetting his name. Pugilist, what's his name?
Polidori.
Polidori. They both play each other for both sides of the fence, where he told Adam, if he ever makes you stop taking those pills, find him 3 times a day. Whereas Henry wanted to wean him off it. And I could have seen both sides of view, maybe like, I don't know who was right or wrong in that.
Yeah, in that sense, Polidori is the pharmaceutical company, and then in the other side, like Adam is sort of Henry's the one that's sort of like empathetic towards the situation and trying to, get him better and then off of it, So it is kind of two sides of the coin, I guess, in a way. So yeah, but there was some other interesting things in this as well about kind of modern day and how we react as humans and especially when I thought a lot of people were accepting, like the scene with Shelley in the bar, like she was very accepting of Adam, and I think that also speaks to a certain percentage of people out there that are just more accepting of people in general, And I thought that was a cool scene. She's like, "Oh, you don't want to talk much, huh?" Like she was kind of trusting of him, and I just thought that was kind of cool.
Well, I kind of saw her this is not a bad thing, but she seemed kind of like a party girl and been around certain things, and she just thought he was fucked up, and she was attracted to him because he looked kind of like Iggy Pop in her eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
And they
kind of did, now that you mentioned.
Yeah. And she was like, "Yeah, you fucked up. You look fucked up." But they had their moment.
Right.
Sometimes when you're, if you're in the habit of getting fucked up, you seek out other people who get fucked up too.
Yeah. And it was, I thought it was a cute little scene between the two of them. And, I liked what they did with that, and kind of what happened afterwards I thought was appropriate and also very Frankenstein-y,
Yeah. Very modern telling of what happened in the movie Frankenstein. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think that really shows sort of, the heart and of this character is after what happens, of how he reacts and everything. So, yeah, no, I thought that a lot of this was done really well, and obviously it's dealing with the budget, so they couldn't go, hog wild and have all these crazy effects and everything, or, like with. Filming in New York, it was very limited with where they were. A lot of it took place in that loft. But, they did get out to the Met, into, a big museum, which I wondered if that was guerrilla style or not. But
yeah, right.
But, because there was a lot of people there. So I think that they probably wouldn't have been able to get those shots otherwise. But, I don't know. But I thought it was cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it definitely added some some value, I guess, to get some locations like that. So, but yeah, I mean, and I think at times some of the acting, actually, I'm going to counter somebody. Somebody said that he was good. I actually thought Josh Leonard in this was kind of bad, and I think he overacted a lot. Now I'm sure he was probably portraying a specific character, but I don't know. I just felt like he was a little over the top and a little overly sort of melodramatic in his portrayal a little bit. But I don't know. That's just me.
No, I mean, he didn't have to be such a dick.
Well, it's not even that he was.
That's
just
what he had to be.
It's not even that he was a dick. It just was. He was just a little like. It seemed like he was acting in like a different kind of role than everyone else. Like it's almost like he was in, like he thought he was doing like a Shakespearean type of thing, and everyone else is doing a horror movie,
Yeah.
And now maybe that's the direction he got, is to be this sort of higher class sort of hoity-toity guy. Maybe that's sort of the direction he got. I don't know, but
Well, I guess when you're in charge of pharmaceuticals, I mean, you
Yeah.
pretty much, the world's your oyster, really. I mean, you can do pretty much whatever you want, however you want, in any way you want.
And maybe he was played like what's that fucking guy, that pharmaceutical bro? Do you guys know who I'm talking about? He's the one who bought that Wu-Tang album for like $1 million or whatever. I don't know.
Shikri, something like that.
Did you call him shit?
Shikri.
Shit greed?
Shickery, Doc.
Yeah, I don't even know his name, but I don't really care either. But it could have been that he was trying to portray a character like that, and in which case, I guess he pulled it off. But I feel like there wasn't enough character beats in there to make me believe that he was that type of a character. But maybe that's
Martin Scarelli.
Yeah, that fucking dick.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of a minor nitpick. And I thought for the most part, I think the script was pretty good, but there was a couple times when it was just, okay. But I think what it lacked in those fields, it made up for it in others. So, and the other thing too is I guess I'd say like the final act of this movie, I loved all the nods. I loved those like shots with the background of the lightning and like some of the way it was framed. Like those were like really inspired shots,
I really enjoyed the lightning effect they were doing.
Yeah. It just was, kind of a cool nod, and it looked really cool, and I thought that it was really effective.
As good as this movie is, there's one small little nitpick that I find to be a bit of a heavy-handed thing, and I imagine, you gotta throw it in there, but this movie is really good, but I really don't think it really. I guess it needed something to cling on from the first scene to the last scene, and that's the necklace.
You don't like the necklace?
I just feel it's a little too Chekhov gunny.
I don't think so. I think that I think that was just nice. I thought it was a nice touch, especially.
It is, but I mean, when I saw the necklace, when I realized what's going on, and I saw the necklace, I realize it's going to play into the movie later at some point. Don't know when, but it's going to happen.
But it's not one of those things where it's something that comes up later, and it was like, oh well, of course that was going to happen. Like I don't know. Like we've seen some movies where it's kind of ridiculous when they do that sort of stuff. But this to me was just sort of, it was almost like
I didn't know what the context was.
But it was more like a bookend. It was like here's the beginning and here's the end. Like that's how I saw it.
I don't know. I thought it was a little too hammy.
I had more of a problem with I don't want to say too much with the spoilers, but the museum, the realization at the end, I just thought that was a little too forced. It was just like, that's not that distinguishing of a thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It just, that was just too much. Because it wasn't like
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It just, there was no reason for her to suspect anything.
Anyone who has that, you would see that.
Yeah.
And that's super vague. I know.
Yeah.
Not that it's a big spoiler, but yeah, it's like, that's not it's not like you, I don't know, like snap your fingers all the time, or you have a certain.
It's not that distinguishing of a thing. You wouldn't blink twice of anyone doing. Yeah.
Right. I do that all the fucking time.
But that's more of an issue than the necklace. The necklace, it was a little forced, but it was like, okay, it's a movie. You kind of gotta, in order to show the necklace, you gotta have it be introduced. Otherwise, it's just something.
I mean, I guess I get what MZ's saying, but I just don't. I thought it was more of a bookend than a Chekhov's gun situation where it was going to come back. So, I just think it kind of was used well to kind of end the film. But yeah, all right. Is there anything else you guys wanted to call out on this? Anything about the technical aspects, about the how true it is to the original story? Anything before we head to the verdict? Or are you guys good to go to the verdict?
Go to the verdict.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have. Michael Ravenshadow.
I did enjoy this. It was kind of dragged at times. It could have been a little bit tighter. It was low budget. I mean, I don't know if you're looking for, crazy gore. You're not really going to find it here. But I think it was a really cool take on the Frankenstein mythos, and it felt fresh to me. Fresh enough. It wasn't the highest budget. Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, I was just going to say, we did another modern-day retelling of a Frankenstein story. I'm trying to remember the name of it now.
Yes.
Do you guys remember that one? And if so, how did this compare to that?
Yeah, he had like the kind of green coat.
Yeah.
This year we did?
No, it was either last year or 2 years ago. I'll look it up.
Yeah, we did do that. And I know there was the one with, what's his face? Was it Fassbender? Did Fassbender do some I, Frankenstein?
Yeah, I think he was in that.
And, I've never seen the Bobby De Niro one. Was that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Which I am curious about checking that out. Yeah. But no, it has its flaws, but I did enjoy this. So I would say this is definitely a treat. And it's fucking Larry fucking Fessenden.
Yeah. There you go. Treat.
Frankenstein.
All right.
Treat.
How about Aries?
Yeah, I did enjoy this movie, but I will agree with Raven Shadow that this movie it is long. It does drag at times. If you asked me what could be removed from this movie, I could not tell you. It is one of those movies that, although it does drag on at times, there is nothing. I don't think there's anything you could take out of this movie. That there's nothing. There's no really. Although it is slow, there's no downtime to this movie. Yeah. Everything that happens in this movie is in this movie for a reason. This movie could have been a 3-hour movie, and had some filler. This movie definitely, everything that's in this movie needs to be in this movie, but it is a long movie. So sit down, order a large popcorn, and watch this movie. This movie is not perfect. It does have its flaws. It doesn't stray that far from its source material. It is definitely just a straight up modern telling of the Frankenstein story. Does teeter into the full story, teetering into the bride aspect of it, but doesn't go full bore into it. But sit down, watch this movie. This is definitely a treat.
Oh, and it did kind of have its own take on the Angry Villagers too.
Okay, are you going to elaborate, or are you just going to stare at me?
Well, watch the movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, don't watch the movie. You don't got to do that either.
By the way, the one we're talking about was from 2015. It actually was just called Frankenstein. It was directed by Bernard Rose. And Bernard Rose did Candyman. And I thought he did something else. Oh, Immortal Beloved. I don't know if you guys remember that movie.
Is that with Gary Oldman or Sting?
I think it was both. Gary Oldman's definitely in it. I don't remember if Sting is, but yeah, that's the one. Yeah, with Gary Oldman. But yeah. So that was the one from 2015. It was just called Frankenstein, and it was once again a modern day retelling of it. I think I haven't given my verdict yet, but I personally think this one was better. But Speaking of verdicts, let's go to MZ's.
I really enjoyed the homages that this movie has paid to the original two first films, Frankenstein and Bride. I think the pacing of the characters' learning abilities for Adam was done very, very well. I thought the editing was great. Like my colleagues have said, this is a flawed film a little bit, and
Are your colleagues now?
Yeah. Like my friends.
Are we your distinguished colleagues?
Yeah.
There's nothing distinguished about you guys. Maybe Raven Shadow because he wears a button-down shirt, but that's about it.
That's all it takes.
I really enjoyed all the characters in this movie, with the exception of Polidori, because he is very difficult to get along with, because he is really.
Wait, you hang out with him?
He's really the only one that is really a despicable, despisable character.
I do want to party with him, but I'm not hang out with him.
At least as far as the main characters go. But like I said, the homages are really, really good. This is an enjoyable film. It is long, and I would have to agree with Aries that if what to take out, I have no idea, because it seems like every scene is pretty essential. But I did enjoy this. Might give it another viewing. Why not? I've watched other movies about 100 times.
Yeah, no shit.
So I might give this another watch.
Maybe on my 4 o'clock break. I'll check it out.
It's weird. It's hard to. It's really hard to fuck up the idea of a modern retelling of Frankenstein. It can happen. I mean, Frankenstein Unbound. You might want to avoid that. I don't care if it is Roger Corman. Avoid that one. But this is good. I did enjoy this, and this is a treat. I do recommend it.
All right, and for me, I'm also going to give it a treat. I think that this was a good modern day retelling. I know one of the things MZ's been talking a lot about on social media is remakes.
Oh yeah, he loves them.
I'll pose a question in a second. I just want to finish with my verdict. But I think that, as I mentioned earlier, this captures the soul of the Frankenstein story. And I think it does it very well. It makes you feel sympathy for the monster. And I think it pulls it off exceptionally well. And I think Adam Bro did a great job in this role. And I think that Larry also did a very good job in telling the story and the pacing and everything. He wrote, directed, edited it, produced it. So, he had a hand in pretty much everything. And, I know that I'm pretty sure he's been wanting to do this for a while. So he finally was able to do it. And I think he did a very good job. And I think that this is, this isn't going to be the Frankenstein movie for everybody. I could see some people not digging this, but for the most part, I think it captures the soul and the essence of the original. And if you are a fan of that, I don't think you'll be disappointed in the way that this is told, especially as, a modern day retelling. So, I definitely recommend, and it also kind of like captures a snapshot of society nowadays as well, which I think is what a good horror film does. Is it kind of takes the temperature of what's going on in the world today and translates that into a film. And, I think it does a good job of that. So kudos to Larry Fessenden. I think that he pulled it off here, and I think that Depraved is a pretty cool movie. So I think a lot of you guys will check it out, or should check it out, and might think so as well. So there you have it. That's our discussion of Depraved. It is available on VOD if you guys want to check it out. Amazon, Apple, iTunes. I almost said Apple Podcasts, iTunes, what have you. Go ahead and check out Depraved. You can rent it. You can buy it. And I'm sure it'll be available on physical media soon, which I'll actually just check that in a few minutes and see if it is available. But, all right. So next week, we were originally going to do one film, and then we found out that it's actually not coming out for. It's coming out a day after our next episode, so that's not going to work. So, but if we're going to put that movie off a week, so in its place, we were trying to figure out which movie to do because there was a couple of movies that we had kind of missed that we were interested in doing. So we went back and pulled one off the scrap heap, so to speak. And the name of that movie is The Dead Don't Die from Jim Jarmusch, who, I think we've all seen a few Jim Jarmusch movies at this point. We did Only Lovers Left Alive a couple years ago. And he's obviously done Dead Man. He did, what's the movie you always mention, Raven Shadow?
Coffee and Cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So, he's done he's if you have not heard of Jim Jarmusch, you're probably missing out on some pretty interesting films. He's definitely an interesting filmmaker. He also did Ghost Dog. I almost forgot about that one.
Oh, Ghost Dog.
Yeah. So, and he also, did some stuff with Talking Heads. He did some music videos for them back in the day. So Jim Jarmusch is a pretty talented filmmaker, and this movie I saw a lot of interesting sort of feedback about this, but it's got a ridiculous cast. Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Tom Waits, Chloe Sevigny, Steve Buscemi, Danny Glover, Kevin McCormick, Sid O'Connell, RZA, Caleb Jones, Larry Fessenden. So we didn't get any Larry, and now we're going to get two in a row. So it's got a pretty bonkers cast, and the synopsis: the peaceful town of Centerville finds itself battling a zombie horde as the dead start rising from their graves. So if you guys want to check it out, The Dead Don't Die, it is available on VOD, so you can go ahead and give it a look, and then go ahead and leave us your feedback if you'd like. Podcast at trickortreatradio.com. You can go ahead and leave a voice message or an email, whatever you want. And it looks like Depraved is only available digitally. IFC Midnight is doing the distribution, and they typically put it out digitally and then, give it a little bit of time, and then afterwards we'll toss it out on physical. So I'm sure you can expect to see a physical release of that in the coming months. So, you guys want to take another break or just want to roll into the next thing?
Let's roll.
Brave Shadow, you're this.
You can go smoke. We can talk without you.
Yeah, we've done it before.
You're the glorified grip.
More than that.
He's going to grip himself a cigarette. That's what he's going to do.
Because you guys leave. You know what's going to fucking happen.
Let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Because we'll finish sooner.
All right.
And then MZ can can get home a little earlier. He's complaining about how late we've been running.
Stop your whining, you big baby.
No, you're the one whining.
He's all prepared. He turned around in my street and faced out today before.
I gotta get home fast.
Did you back?
I walk out my door and he's pulling up from the other side. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, he's getting ready to leave.
No, I just figured it'd be easier. What's the problem?
He gets shaved.
Save the whole 30 seconds of turning around tonight.
How can it be easy? You got Aries driving you like fucking Miss Daisy.
Yeah, exactly. Would you sit in the back seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got me in the back of his truck.
Yeah, get in the back, asshole.
In the cat, yeah, all the way back.
Yeah. Sit on the top.
He's got me in the bed of his truck.
All right, so, actually, yeah, the one thing I was going to ask you, MZ. So you've been ranting a little bit here and there about remakes. What do you view this as a remake? The movie we just talked about, Depraved. Do you view that as a remake?
It's a retelling.
It's a reimagining.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a reimagining is okay, but a remake is not.
A reimagining. No, look. I think any movie. Here we go.
Well, no. I'm curious. I'm legitimately curious.
What I think it is that I think it's if it's adapted. I think if it's adapted from a book, okay, then it's perfectly all right because it's somebody. Wait, because it's somebody's interpretation of that book. Okay.
But a reboot is just someone else's interpretation of the original movie.
Right.
So because it existed as a book first, it's okay rather than a movie.
Yes.
So you're giving more credence to a book than a movie?
I would give more credence to the idea that look, there could be 50 versions of Frankenstein. Okay? But if the movie was created first, let's say the book never existed of Frankenstein, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If the movie Frankenstein was created and then all these remakes started coming in, then yes, there would be an issue. But because it's a book, they're getting the adaptation idea from the book. Okay? It's not from someone's idea that's already been made into a movie. It's someone's idea that's been made into a book.
But I guess I understand where he's going. Why does that make it different? Why is that better?
It just is. It's just how I see it as being better.
But you're giving more credence to the books than to movies.
Is that wrong?
And you don't read.
Yes. That is definitely wrong.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
What do you mean? Explain yourself.
Because someone wrote a story down rather than filmed it, it's better?
I didn't say it's what to take it from the book, you mean?
No. Just you're saying simply because someone is making a movie out of a book rather than making a movie out of a movie, it's better. So you're giving more credence to the book.
It's more.
Why is that more acceptable?
Because it's the filmmaker's idea. It's their interpretation of the book.
Yeah, but that's what a remake is. The interpretation of the movie. It's over script, maybe.
So an
interpretation of the movie, which is just look, my stance on remakes has softened a little bit over the years, okay? A little bit, not too much. But to take a movie that's already been remade. Let me ask you this. Would you write a book? Let's use Frankenstein, for instance, since we're talking about it all night long. Would you write a book about Frankenstein if since Frankenstein the book has already existed? Would you write a book on Frankenstein?
If I could come out with a modern if Frankenstein originally existed as a movie in 1938, is that the original Mary? The whatever
33. I think.
33. Okay, 1933. That was the original telling of Frankenstein. It originally existed as a movie, and then this story that we just reviewed was a book. It's a completely acceptable interpretation because it is a modern interpretation of that story.
And I'm perfectly fine with the modern interpretation of the story of Frankenstein in this, with the movie we just reviewed.
So why because something existed as a movie first, can it not have a modern interpretation?
It's just how I roll, man.
So just because something didn't exist as a movie first, didn't exist as a book first, it can't have a modern interpretation?
Would you accept, let me ask you this, would you say like Back to the Future, would you accept Back to the Future, would you accept a remake of Back to the Future?
Yes. If for some reason, if they could come up with a reason why it needed to exist in today's age. Yes.
You know what? Actually, I have an interesting question. If a book was, can you remake a book? And if so, is it considered plagiarism?
Well, that's what I asked Aries, and he says it's okay.
Wait, what? No, you never asked me that.
I did. Yes, I did.
On the ride home last week.
Yes, I did. I asked you, if Frankenstein is out, would you remake a book on Frankenstein? And you answered that you would.
Okay, you.
Wait. Actually, sorry. We're this is a fucking.
Yeah,
rabbit hole.
you shoved your finger in the doorway before. What were you gonna say?
I did because you made the. I will, and it was. I gave him the wrong finger. It should have been this one. I was like fucking Richard Pryor and Moving. I gave him the wrong finger.
Fuck you.
Are these Idaho potatoes?
All right, Mr. Sidetrack, get back on your point.
No. Vroom vroom. I fucking love Moving. I have two fucking titles for you.
Okay.
A Clockwork Orange and a Princess Bride.
Okay, good. You named 2 movies. Now what's your
Okay,
point?
you cannot make. There's no reason to remake a Princess Bride because you're not going to give a modern take on a fairy tale.
Correct, but that's something that's at least according to most of our fucking friends' Facebook feed has been talked about. I think Kexy's been fucking posting that, or someone's been posting that
About remaking the Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, there's talks of it.
The remake that nobody asked for.
So no, I think if you want to call the Universal monsters, and you're not remaking Spider-Man. A Spider-Man movie is not a remake of it. It's because those characters are myth. If you're dealing with characters who become our modern day myths, I think the Universal monsters are part of that. In a sense, the slashers are part of that as well, and also superheroes as well are not.
The problem is if you start with a book first,
Right.
it's a reimagining.
Oh, right. And yes, you have Stanley Kubrick Shining, and then you have made-for-TV Stephen King Shining.
Mhm.
No one gives a fuck about. I love Clockwork Orange, and it's fucking. I've pretty much given up any kind of remake rage, but I never want to see him. I don't want to see Zac Efron as fucking Alex.
Now,
You know what I mean?
I love a Clockwork Orange,
Yeah.
but I feel that is a movie that could be remade.
It would
But
be.
it could be done poorly, and it could be done amazingly. That is one of those that could go either way.
I'm thinking.
No.
thinking,
Because
I'm
it
thinking.
is that movie is 40 years old at this point. It is delving into a future that did not happen.
50 years old.
Okay, 50 years old.
It's been around.
50.
Not 50 years old.
Not 50 years
Yeah.
old.
Almost.
Oh, no.
Almost.
It's almost 50.
Yeah.
Almost 50. Okay. I'm ballparking him.
So
No.
Jesus Christ, you want to bring out your calculator?
Yeah, sure. Why don't we do that?
Where's your
Don't ask
abacus? Where's your abacus?
My mistake.
I mean, there are movies. I mean, Rebel Without a Cause, one of my all-time favorite movies. That movie is so dated that you ask someone today to watch that movie cold,
They couldn't.
they would be like, "What the fuck am I looking at?" That is such a movie that could be and probably should be remade for this modern age to speak for this modern youth. Whether I could not make that movie because I could not speak for the modern youth today. And if they remade it, I would absolutely hate that movie because I am not the modern youth. It would not speak to me the way the original, not that it was a little dated when I saw it.
Yeah.
But that movie did speak to me.
I saw it opening day.
You are a god. You could have been there.
Well, I mean, what was the last decent, or better, should I say, profitable remake?
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, 15 years ago.
What was it? 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
John.
Wait, profitable remake?
Yeah.
You probably could just look at what the most recent remake to get a profitable remake.
All right, what's the most recent remake? What would that be?
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Oh,
That's
But
a fucking blockbuster.
I think
Lion King. Fucking blockbuster.
I think those flicks
Evil
though are.
Evil Dead did pretty good, right?
That was 2013. That
Yeah.
was a while ago.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure that
it's
made,
sooner than
like,
Dawn of the
5
Dead.
No,
times.
it definitely made its money.
But then you get what? You get the Footloose. We talked about the Footloose.
The
Point
Footloose.
Break.
There was
There's no.
wait. There was a Footloose remake?
Yeah, we might have had
Holy
fucking
shit.
Zac Efron.
Yeah,
or
that
some
was
fucking-
10 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, I didn't
There's
even know
no-
about that either.
Come on, Johnny.
I know there was a Fame remake.
Oh, it's 2011. Holy shit! Yeah.
Footloose
Yeah.
remake. Jesus, who
Yeah,
knew?
I mean, it came and went because I don't think it was very good.
And there's no
As most remakes would tend to go.
need for it.
Dennis Quaid was in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not Randy Quaid.
No,
Who was Quaid? Was he dead?
he was Reverend
Oh.
Shaw Moore.
He was dead. He had to have been the dad. Quaid.
What do you think it was a Kevin Bacon role?
He should be fucking. He should play.
No, Randy Quaid should be playing the.
Dennis Quaid should play Kevin Bacon. That'd be outrageous. Dennis Quaid as Kevin Bacon.
You know, they remade Red Dawn. They remade The Manchurian Candidate, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's fucking Sinatra, sir. You don't
You
fucking
know,
remake
Did
Sinatra.
did they make Casablanca? Did
It's
they
Ocean's
remake
11.
I don't know.
Now,
Yeah, I
now,
know, right? Yeah.
although it wasn't a very good movie, Red Dawn, that was a movie that could be remade to exist in this modern age. It didn't hold up to the original, but it was.
If it had the same stones.
Yeah, it just
Because
wasn't.
it was relevant.
It was. Yeah, it
made.
made it more relevant to the modern age. It wasn't as good of a movie, but it was more
Right.
relevant to the modern age. I mean, that's the youth of today don't understand the Cold War.
Did you say Utes?
Utes. I mean, the Cold War is
What's a
a foreign concept to them. So the Russians coming over to invade,
America.
Yeah, I was the Midwest.
Well,
Where we live.
Didn't they just do that 3 years ago? Digitally?
Yeah, well, around the election time. It was
Yeah,
November.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, too, we went to school and had bomb scares, and then went back to class and had to do our fucking math test. We didn't get fucking shot going to fucking study hall. So I mean, there's different, changing things. But, I mean, I think reimaginings, reinterpretations. I mean, it's whatever the fuck. I think when it becomes mythology, you can have different stories. I don't know if you need to remake fucking
The Craft.
The Craft, right? I mean, like,
It's unnecessary.
and I think you're just looking for brand recognition there,
Right. I
at
mean,
that-
but at that point, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Is it more brand recognition than it is like, oh, this is an amazing story that needs to be retold? I mean, nothing against The Craft. It's a fun movie, but like, I don't think anyone's clamoring, for a remake of that. It's just an identifiable property that older, people our age will remember, and then the younger generation will just think it's new, and then it kind of plays on both levels, on both generational levels. So,
But then again, look at remember the Flatlanders remake?
Oh yeah,
What the fuck?
Flatliners was.
Why the fuck do that?
But why? I mean, I understand what it is that it comes down to the bottom line, money. That's what it's all about. Money. And you will be bought. But I think
Everyone's got a price.
But it's like it's like, does everything have to be remade? Because it sure as hell seems like that's what it is, and that's what it has been for the past 14, 15 years.
I'm sure at some point that they stop pitching movie ideas, and they go, "That's a good idea." And then someone goes, "Well, isn't that just Point Break?" Great, we'll call it a remake. Like, they just start tossing around ideas, and just because it sounds so much like something else, they just decide that fine, that's a remake, and we'll market it as that because we'll probably make another $5 million because it's a remake.
Well, I think it comes down to I'm not to cut you off, MZ, but you can save on marketing because it's that brand recognition.
yeah, and it's a little bit of word of mouth too, just right off the bat. So I mean, it is interesting. I mean, I would love to talk to like a producer or somebody who has been, sort of, and even just to speak of another one, the Creep Show is debuting in like 5 days from now.
Yeah,
but that's not a remake though. That's a based on the comic.
Right. But that's, I mean, it's another property that's being redone. Because you're right. It is more like Frankenstein, where it's a originally was a book that was made into a movie, so.
But then how many books about Dracula have there been? How many books about
Well, it falls under the same category. That falls under the same category with Frankenstein. Now, I'm gonna switch this into a world of pro wrestling to give you an idea as to why this pisses me off so much. Whenever you and bear in mind, I'm talking about maybe I would say mid 90s, just before the Attitude Era. Remember when we started getting things like the New Rockers, the New Midnight Express? Remember when we would get things like that?
Right.
Why now? See, what kills it is that word "new," because if it's so original, it shouldn't have the word "new" in front of it. So because you put in that word "new" before the name, all it does is make you reminded of the originals.
Yeah, Team Wolf 2.
The new Trick or Treat Radio.
Right.
So all it does is make you remember,
like New
the
Nightmare?
old Midnight Express, the old rockers. And so that unless some magical bullshit happens, these new movies are not going to hold a candle to the old stuff. And as good as Dawn of the Dead was, and Wolfie, I think he still hasn't even seen it. Am I right?
I know, I saw it.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, I saw it like back in the Murray days, so it's been a while.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what'd you think of it?
It wasn't as bad as I was anticipating, but I still didn't love it.
Okay. And because I like it. And
I loved it.
Good,
I loved
and
it,
as good as I think it is, and as you think it is, and maybe as Aries thinks it is, maybe not.
We like it.
That it still doesn't hold a candle to the original.
No,
Yeah,
and that's one of the greatest zombie movies of all time, if not the greatest.
Yeah, exactly. So this whole new concept is just it's a dagger in the heart to anybody who's even attempting to do this. So especially A Princess Bride, I do not see that succeeding in any way, shape, or form. It's a fairy tale. You can't do it. The Craft, you shouldn't do it. It's a fun movie. It's a fine movie. It's well acted. Yeah. It's got good performances in it.
I mean,
I enjoy the hell out of it.
I don't give a fuck about The Craft. I don't. It doesn't. But it wasn't for me. As a kid. It's cool.
You weren't a teenage girl in the 90s?
A couple of nights. It was weird.
Veruza Balk didn't do it for you?
No. I liked.
He wouldn't have recognized her anyways.
No, I was into what's it was? The black girl. I liked her.
Oh, Rachel True.
Yeah. I liked her. Yeah.
I'm on her Twitter page. She doesn't watch.
Ooh.
Yeah. She wants to watch,
just calm down, you guys.
But yeah, once again, you can still make a movie without calling it The Craft, but I don't know.
I mean, what's wrong with sequelizing it? Why not make the four girls' daughters or something like that?
So
that could be whack too.
And have them possess the same power.
A sequel is better than a remake?
I think
that's a tough one to call.
Debatable.
You just said that.
You did just say that. You did just say
You just said want to make a sequel rather than a remake.
Well, because I think a sequel would make more sense. Now, I mean, as far as storytelling and as far as whether or not it makes money, that's a different story. But the idea of it being a sequel over a remake is a better one. I think it's a better idea to sequelize it rather than remake it.
All right, so let's go to the chat room. Serrana says, sometimes remakes are made to show us something we know through a different perspective. Those are often the things I hope to see in a remake, such as the movie It. We are seeing it now in a darker light, even more disturbing at times, and it's done well. Now, I've not seen either It yet.
You didn't see the TV series?
Oh yeah, well, yes. So by either,
you're talking about the films.
I mean the films. I don't feel the cinematic It is a remake because it was a made-for-TV movie.
It's a reimagining.
Yeah, and I mean we're sort of like I think it's more of a semantics thing because it obviously was originally a book turned into a miniseries and then now they made films out of it.
But
what are you
I think Red Dawn is happening right now. I think
something's going on outside.
I saw all you guys take your headphones
I think
off.
I think I hear wolves howling or something outside.
Does your fire department sound off their tones?
I don't know what that means.
I hope it's not like a hurt dog or something.
Do you ever hear your fire horn? The fire department, do they sound off their horn?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you live here?
What do I know about fire horns?
Do you hear something like
fire horn, leg horn?
Yeah. Our dog say there's a fire going on.
Say, boy.
Say, boy. Say, get the water, boy.
No, I mean it is a good example of a remake working out. The only time that I think a remake is absolutely necessary is if the original film is not that good. Okay, and there are a bunch of them that fall under that category.
Yeah, let's get fucking like J.J. Abrams to do fucking Ishtar.
It is definitely one of those because everybody raves about Tim Curry's role as Pennywise, and that's the only thing people remember of that movie.
Because it's bad. Otherwise, like it's not that good. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's made
terrible.
for TV, dog. Back in 1990, man.
Right,
Shit
right.
was
You can make a good movie. You can make a good made-for-TV movie back in 1990.
No, you couldn't. Made for TV before FX and HBO is whack as shit, dude.
for the most part.
I gotta agree with him. If you were making a movie on TV, it was pretty much shit.
Right. I love
was-
me some John Redder.
I
love
actually-
me some fucking Night Court.
I
But
actually had
fucking-
this conversation recently because in the 80s and 90s, if you were a film actor and you went and did TV, your film career was done.
You were over.
Because TV was viewed as a far inferior platform. Now, you can go back and forth with no problem. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, Apple now has their own streaming service, Apple TV Plus, but Jason Momoa is in a series called C, and he's someone that can go back and forth easily. Like, it's not going to hinder him at all. He's still a huge movie star, and a lot of other actors can do that now. Back in the day, you could not do it. If you did it, you were fucking done. You were not doing movies ever again.
Yeah, that's why that was loaded with sitcom stars. They were trying to make a name for themselves to be movie actors.
Had John Ritter, John Mazer, Harry Anderson. So I mean, but it did have Tim Curry, and Tim Curry had a hell of a film career before and after.
But that's different though, because he was the monster.
Well, yeah, but he was not the norm back in those days.
Right.
Tim Curry, I mean, he's
and then did Wilderness Girls.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was just. I mean, he was just one of those actors that just kind of he did his own thing. He didn't care.
Yeah.
Like what? Like Toolbox Murders. I mean, everybody loves Toolbox Murders. I don't think
my mom
it's all
loves
good.
it. Yeah, she fucking.
Everybody loves it.
But I'm not a big fan of it.
Is that a Hallmark thing?
Was that the sitcom Everybody Loves Toolbox Murders?
That's a Hallmark Channel thing, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not the Hallmark Channel bullshit.
I don't think so, Tim.
What is it then?
Toolbox Murders? You never heard of the Toolbox Murders? 1978.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something
It's
different.
a horror film from 1978.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I'm thinking of something. There's definitely a Toolbox thing on the Hallmark Channel, though.
Cameron Mitchell, Kelly Nichols. Look it up. But anyway, in 2002 they did a remake, and that was with Angela Bettis, and unfortunately, that's no better. But there are some out there that I would say yes, give it another shot. The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which I thought had a chance to be a really good movie, the original I'm talking about, and it's just boring as hell and kind of dumb.
MZ, what was that Scarecrow movie, the TV movie that you really like?
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Yeah, from 1980, was it?
1980, 1979, 78, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Fantastic. One of the all-time greatest made-for-TV horror films ever made. Larry Drake is in it, okay? And it's awesome. It is so good. I highly recommend you checking it out.
Evil Corny asks, wasn't that the Red Toolbox Diaries?
Although it's funny, Matt LeBlanc was in some early Red Shoe Diary episodes, along with your boy.
Wasn't David Duchovny, or am I thinking of
David
someone else?
Duchovny.
He was the host.
He was the host.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah dude, I want to hang with Duchovny, dude.
You know. And then there was all the remakes from Japanese horror films, The Eye, The Grudge,
The Balls,
The Bulge,
Shudder. You know, and I think Shudder is one of the scariest Asian horror films ever. And they brought it over here and they just fucked it up. Same thing with The Eye.
All right, MZ. We don't want to go over 3 hours, so
No.
I'm gonna cap. No, I'm just giving you shit.
Just keep this in mind next week when you go, why the fuck are we so long?
Yeah.
I'm so tired, Johnny.
I couldn't watch my Tubi movies the next day. I was so tired at work.
Fuck you.
That's true. And Serrano does say Tim Curry in Legend as Darkness is the hottest beast monster.
Yeah.
What?
Well, and that was before. That was before it. When he was still a movie star. Yeah.
Darkness would fucking fuck it up like a car crash.
Darkness. All right. So we only have one voicemail this week, so let's hear it. And it is from our boy Nathan Cotton Candy Coy Vance Duke, whatever the hell his name is.
This is Cody. I just want to say hello. I've really been enjoying the show, even through your transitional period. Glad you've got all the sound stuff worked out and you're rocking and rolling all proper. But it has been a good listen, even when the sound was rough. I have especially liked. I hope this continues a little bit. There was a much higher concentration of instances in which MZ just talked about television. He remembers. Early on, I was like, "Oh, this is when my grandparents would talk about." The Shadow or like Gangbusters or some other like radio program they would listen to. They're like, eyes would kind of roll up in the back of their head and just like vividly remember all this shit from the radio. But as time passed, like it's so much more than that. Obviously, like in one of the Hannibal books, there's something written about how Hannibal can stay so placid. While in captivity because he has a mind palace just made up of incredibly vivid memories of books he's read and things he's experienced. Like each room is another like just sort of like layer of things he can recall to keep himself like entertained and pacified and whatever. And MZ has like the exact same thing, except like instead of a mind palace, it's like a mind dusty library of like mid-season replacement sitcoms from like 30 years ago. It's really phenomenal to listen to. It just it's really really impressive. Like I know that he was published in Horror Hound once, but if there was like mid-season replacements quarterly, I can't help but think he would probably be like editor-in-chief. Really have enjoyed that. And yeah, just the show's been super good. I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say about this one tonight. And I'm sure you're going to have, I mean, you've got the new Rob Zombie thing coming out. I feel like you might get to, Tigers Are Not Afraid here on Shudder pretty soon. But if you're, just sort of like looking for something, if like you need like a filler, whatever, I would say, don't be afraid of covering The Fanatic from John Travolta and Fred Durst.
That's funny.
I'd be very interested in hearing what you guys had to say about that, should the opportunity arise. Anyway, have a good show. I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.
All right, Cody. It's funny you mentions that because that was actually potentially one of the films we were going to do next week. But we ended up deciding to go with another one. But I guess it is sort of on the back burner, so who knows? The Fanatic. Fred Durst and John Travolta.
Put your hands in the air, suck balls. It's a fucking classic Fred Durst fucking line. He didn't write it. It sounds like he wrote it. That fucking guy. I would see that movie though. I'm glad. I often think about Nathan, Cotton, Cody, Candy, Pants, Duke. I like him a lot.
Well, you got your show, Bomba Radio.
And I do. I caught the end of a film a few weeks back, and I thought of him. I caught the end of 21 Jump Street remake.
Remake.
The first one. Did you guys see it?
No.
No.
Yeah, no. Can I spoil it?
Was Richard Grieco in it? That's all I want to know.
Oh, that was a high. I was so fucking conflicted because I was such a Tom Hansen mark, and then it was kind of like being a Hulk Hogan mark back in the day, and then Ultimate Warrior showed up. But like, I like Tom Hansen. Oh, Book is kind of dangerous too. I was conflicted. He rode a motorcycle, had bandanas. So yes, the end. Real quick, the end of 21 Jump Street, the first one. You got the big one, the little
You're gonna
one.
spoil me, bro?
I'm gonna spoil you, bro.
Okay.
You want to hear it?
Yeah,
You ruin
yeah,
it?
go for it.
So it's the pretty boy and the round one are
Jesus.
Fuck are you talking about?
Jonah Hill,
Who is-
right? Was it
Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum, right?
Oh, Jesus.
You're just rambling.
Okay.
I'm sorry, remake.
Well, no, the round one and the pretty one. What the fuck are you talking? Like,
Corny, you know what I'm talking about.
get on with it.
So there's the denouement, which is French for the final scene in 21 Jump Street. So they're all like, Johnny, we're doing our show. So it's Jonah Hill and the pretty boy with the guns drawn, and there's all this other gangs with their guns drawn, kind of like a Tarantino John Woo thing with all guns drawn. Everyone, there's like a biker gang, a drug dealer gang, some vatos, and so it's revealed that Jonah Hill and the pretty boy are cops, and like, hey, we're from Jump Street, and then all of a sudden, two of the bikers pull their masks off, right? And the big reveal, it's Tom Hansen, aka you're right, Johnny Depp, and your boy Doug Penhall, who's
DeLuise.
Thank you, Peter DeLuise, and it's the realization that they were the original 21 Jump Street, and now here's the new one. So like, hey, we're from Jump Street 2, Johnny Depp says, and then all of a sudden gunfire erupts, and Depp is like shot in the fucking neck, and they're both all killed in a blaze of glory.
I wish we were killed in a blaze of glory.
I want to know how DeLuise became my boy.
Well, I thought. Like,
is it just simply because I can pull that name out of my ass? He's my boy.
Well, I think there's not just his name, but I think like if we were undercover, I'd be more Tom Hansen and you'd be Peter DeLuise.
What about Dom DeLuise?
Fucking planet.
Bizarro world. But yeah, so I was thinking about that and thinking about you, Cotton Cody Vance Duke, and I derailed the show because you make me smile.
I forgot that's why you went on this fucking tangent. How is that one related to the other?
Because Cody and I are doing our own show about.
Because he caught the end.
Yeah, we're just doing. We're gonna do a podcast just by getting snippets of movies.
Okay, hit him with that.
One more word out of your mouth, and Skyfire buys it.
Hey, it's Jetfire, sir.
Oh, then we're fighting words.
Let's Corny. Is it Jetfire or Skyfire?
Don't answer him.
Don't answer him.
I love how you're asking a camera, then you stare at another screen waiting for a response. Corny.
What do you say?
All
right. Let's
close it.
All right. So big thanks to Nathan Cotton Coy Vance Duke. Good to hear from you, buddy, and I'm glad you've been sticking.
Thank you for the kind words too.
Yeah, and sticking through, the technical issues and everything. We appreciate it. And MZ, I think there's been a lot of positive feedback. I think we need to do a Patreon episode of just sitcoms.
Oh God! You know what? That is something
Aries,
the two of you can record all by yourselves.
I was gonna say Aries can skip it if he wants.
I want to do it because I have some new stuff I've been working on. Yeah,
stuff. You watch some new sitcoms?
No, I saw some old sitcoms I remembered.
You pulled out some that even MZ didn't know. Raven Shadow.
Don't fucking tell me. I'll tell you about fucking Boys Will Be Fucking Boys with fucking Matthew Perry.
Wait, slow down. Wait. We were ending this.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
To be
up.
continued.
Shut up.
John.
All right. Well, let's.
Shut up, John. Yeah, no, Johnny's on my side.
Yep. Let's go. MZ's got the mallet. Let's go around the room and say our goodbyes, starting with MZ.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Aries.
Goodbye until next time.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on. Put that down.
And Evil Corny says, Tatum is from Alabama. Show some respect.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Shoot at me.
You little rude.
Wow. All right. I better end this before there's a fight.
Don't what? Don't talk to him.
Don't talk to him. All right. Well, that is going to do it for episode 373 of Trick or Treat Radio. Next week, we're going to be talking about The Dead Don't Die from director Jim Jarmusch.
Jarmusch.
So we're going to talk about that. If you guys want to get a chance to check it out, or if you've already seen it and want to send your thoughts, podcast at trickortreatradio.com. Send a voice message, email, whatever. And we look forward to hanging out. And then we got Rock and Shock coming up soon. That would be October 11th, 12th, and 13th. So if you guys have not made your plans, please do. We're looking forward to it. Hope to see a lot of your faces there. And we'll be recording some stuff. I'll be with the crew, obviously. Be with you guys up there. So we'll be doing some video, be hanging out, doing some other content. So until next week from here at Castle Wolfenstein and from the boys over at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau, that is going to do it for episode 373. And we'll see you guys next week. How about that? How about that, Raven Shadow?
How about that?